That's my brother. Much love. He got a heart of gold, man. He treats you so good, man.
Yeah, I feel you, brother. I feel you. And while you're talking, you might want to say what's up to the chat, because we are live, baby.
We're doing it live.
What is going on, everybody? Yeah, I hope you're having a great start to your weekend, a great Saturday night. And yes, if you check this out on Twitter, this is the final episode of season 2 of the next podcast. So the next time you see the next podcast, there's going to be brand new graphics. There's going to be a brand new video game character to be put on the thumbnail to go along for season 3. So this is the very last episode of season 2, guys. So what you need to do, you need to smack that thumbs up button. You need to share this out on social media. You need to let people know it is going down right here, right now.
I thought this was the last episode ever.
No, dude. I signed you signed a contract for like 20 years, man. So you're gonna be here for a while, bro. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that shit.
You were drinking kind of heavy though, so you know what I'm saying.
I was.
But it is not below me to take advantage of a drunken podcaster, man. I'm gonna let you know that as well. So as soon as I saw that you were crunk, I'm like, it's time to break out, the contract and the pen. So
really, so 20 years. So that means okay. So the only way I get out. So the only way I get out of this is if I kill you. So let's go ahead. We're doing it live. Burn on the set. Anyway, let's go.
Yo, huge shout out to the chat. What is going on, everybody? It is good to see you guys here. Shout out to our brother, Mr. 100 from GRG last night with his race tracing. It's a new
race tracing. Let's go.
It's a new development within the gaming development, and it's going to be interesting to see how they implement it moving forward. Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, that was a blast.
Guys, we have a great show planned for you tonight. Some really cool topics, things that other people, for some rhyme or reason, actually didn't talk about this week as well. So it's going to be really interesting, but we can't get into that until we get into the panel lineup here. And going first, I'm going to have to do this. He's been with me for so long. My partner in crime, coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamer out there, K Mega.
What's up with you, bro? Man, what's up? The end of season 2. I don't even. I thought it was season 5 by now. I have no idea how many seasons we got.
Season 1 was like 2 years, bro.
Was it? I have no idea. So regardless of that, the great intro, of course. You know what I'm saying? So for you, I'll give you this before you move to the next one of these bumps. Battle Toads!
Brother.
Damn, I didn't know Battle Toads was Tarzan. What the fuck?
I never cracked that battle cry, brother. You never hear a voice crack on that battle cry. That's all I'm going to say, man. Well, dude,
I guess.
As usual, it's good to have you here on a Saturday. I know you did your homework, man. You looked at the topics. You're like, I'm going to dive in deep. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to come with some really valued opinions tonight. Am I right, K-Mega?
I'm just looking at them right now.
And that's the type of show we got for you guys tonight. But moving on. This man is always a part of the starting lineup every Saturday. Here, you might see him as a special guest on other shows, but you can catch him every Saturday right here. My brother, Predator!
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
Nothing. Chilling. Listen to K-Mega's raspy-ass voice. Ready to get these topics done.
Ready to do this?
K-Mega. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. And, guys, I will say, for some rhyme or reason, I think Predator, there might be a couple shots at K-Mega tonight, so be prepared in the chat, people.
He started it, just so you know.
Yeah, he did. Off air, he completely started it.
Your girl told me you wasn't going to be home. I'm bad.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. And here we go, people. Here we go. So I think that's a perfect time to introduce the next man on the panel. You guys might know him as that hardcore gearhead, but I got news for you, people. He plays other games too. Crispy!
What is up, everybody? What is up, Chad? I am sure this is gonna be super fun, so let's get into it here.
Brother, I cannot tell if you were being sarcastic about that or not, and I'm gonna be thinking about that for a while as we get into the topics.
I got your thought process going, don't I?
Dude, you're in my head right now. I don't like it. Get out. But on that note, guys, let's get into it, and we're gonna start with a heavy hitter here. All right, this is the last episode for season 2, getting ready for season 3. So we gotta go in strong, and we're gonna go in with CD Projekt Red. Now, just a little bit earlier this month, CD Projekt Red came out and said that their next title, which if you don't know, and I don't know why you wouldn't know, is called Cyberpunk 2077, is going to be delayed, and it's a pretty lengthy delay. I believe they delayed it until September. Now, within that, articles started coming out saying that the base Xbox One and PS4 were the reasons for the delay. And then it evolved into just the base Xbox One. And people have been going out there on Twitter trying to use this as like evidence that, Microsoft and Xbox, they shouldn't support, cross-gen for a year. Look what's happening right now. All this good stuff, Cyberpunk is being held back by the base Xbox One. And I really could not wait to get this panel together to talk about this. So let's start with my brother Pred. He was the first in the hangout before anybody else, and so he's going to get the first crack at this. Brother, what do you think about this delay and what people are reporting? Because I believe CD Projekt Red also came out and said, that's a nice rumor, but it's not true. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about all this going on with CD Projekt Red, people pointing to the base Xbox One and trying to use this as some form of evidence that Microsoft and Xbox shouldn't do cross-gen for a year when the Series X comes out, man?
I didn't put a lot of faith into that rumor in the first place. I mean, like this game, and shout out to, I don't know if it was Salty or somebody on his podcast last night had mentioned, like, this game's been in production well before the Xbox One X was, thought about, or, even in the early phases of the creation of it. So like this game wasn't optimized for the SXX. Like it wasn't optimized for the new generation.
Say Series X, man. I don't know
Series
why
X. Dude, I don't know what I need to say with that shit, but it wasn't ever optimized for that. It was optimized for this current gen consoles. And so like for
brother, can you say that one more time to really put it out there? Because that was the first thought I had, man.
Again, I'm not going to take credit for that. I don't know if it was Salty or Ash and Luca, one of the two said it last night, but they were like, this game was optimized for the current gen because it was in creation before
game, man.
Yeah, this current gen, like, and that, not the gen coming up. Like, so like for that to be the reason why the excuse that people are throwing out there, I think is complete bullshit. Because again, they could still release two versions of the game if it was really that fucking difficult to get it optimized on both. Like they did with, and I think we talked about this like last week. If you make it for this system, you can actually resell it next gen, like they did with Red Dead, not Red Dead, with what game? GTA.
Auto.
Yeah. So like we discussed that, and like I thought it was an excellent fucking marketing strategy if they would have released it now and then came back and then re-released it again on the current gen, the Series X and that generation of consoles. But I mean, and I asked this question too, like, if they can't get it to work on, the original Xbox One, then why make it for the original Xbox One? Like they had that option to do that, if I'm not mistaken. That's a Don question, I guess. But like I didn't take any. The game's gonna come out, and to be honest with you, I'm getting it on PC anyway, so I really wasn't even thinking too much about the Xbox version. I'll get it on a PC, and if it ends up coming in Game Pass, like in 2 years later, I'll pick it up and play it again there too. So I don't like these guys; they'll figure this shit out. Like it's a delay, and I even if that was the case, even if that was one of the reasons why, it's just one of probably many. That's just the one that somebody decided to put up in the forefront just for clickbait or whatever the fuck it was. But like, I'm sure there's other issues with this game. Like, let's put it this way: when the game does come out, right? It better fucking run pristine.
Yeah, I know.
As long as they've been making
no
it,
glitches or anything.
And they're saying like, oh, we're ready now. Like, okay, we'll see when that shit drops and it's fucked up and we can't play it because it's got fucking glitches and shit, fucking shit popping up on screen and shit like that, or I'm stuck in a wall somewhere. I'm gonna look back at these conversations. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, yeah. So y'all thought y'all ready then, but now we gave y'all extra fucking 4 or 5 months and you're still fucking the shit up. So like, they can't use that as their only excuse. That's just me. There's another reason besides it.
Pred, you're making a great point with that, because if I remember correctly, when Witcher 3 came out, it definitely came out with issues. So when it comes down to it, they're taking more time to optimize, polish, all those good like gaming development like catchphrases and stuff like that. You're right, man, dude. It better come out running smooth as butter, brother. Dude, what do you think about, like, because it seems that there are a lot of people out there that hate the idea of forwards compatibility here, like to the point where they're using a game, right, that's being developed for the systems we have now, and they're trying to use it as evidence that like Xbox should not go that route. Why do you think people are doing that when I look at it, I think of it as a pro gamer kind of like solution within the first year of launching new hardware, man. Why is it getting so much hate, do you think, yeah?
I think like the mindset is people are thinking like, okay, that console, the original Xbox One, is so underpowered that you know when you're making a game, you shouldn't have to go back that far to make it work, right? Like why would you want it to work on that if you can actually put everything you possibly can into that game and make it work on the Series X? You should make it work on the Series X and fuck everybody else, right? Fuck all the other consoles. That's what people's mindset is. But like, not everybody's gonna make that jump initially, like from this gen to the next gen.
Not
They're
only
not
the
going,
hardcore adopts
yeah,
first, really.
and even if that game comes out, I think what they say September ish,
September.
maybe.
Yeah.
So let's say it comes out. When is the next gen console going to come out?
Holiday. Holiday
Holiday,
2020.
like probably like November ish. So like you would still have to wait. So it's like it doesn't matter either way. Like we're still gonna have to wait to play it on the Series X anyway. So like, do you want them to just delay it all the way up until the Series X and that next generation comes out, or do you want to play it now?
Dude,
Like,
there's
so
people
like,
saying you should just make it for next gen, and I think a lot of those people, because a lot of those people, let's be real here, they like to troll on social media, they like to dig into console war bullshit and stuff like that, and I think what they're trying to do, because they know Xbox's plan when it comes to forward compatibility within the first year, they want them to just kind of develop for the next gen, so this way they could point the finger back at Xbox and blame it for any type of glitches or hiccups or anything like that, man.
yeah, and if you think about it, like I'm actually gonna question to see if they're going to make a patch for the Series X, the PlayStation 5, going forward, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to pick it up on PC because it was gonna come out like in March, I think, or some shit like that. So
Mhm.
like I was gonna pick it up on the PC because I wanted it to look the best. Now I'm curious if they're actually gonna push out a patch after the fact to take advantage of the ray tracing and all the other components that are going to be in the next gen systems, with them releasing it so close to the release of the next gen systems. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they're going to do that. I would assume they would, but fuck, we don't know because there were games this current gen that didn't do that when we got the X. So like, they might just push off and just like work on the multiplayer or fixing the bugs on it, and we may not see that patch for the Series X until like February. So like
Yeah.
even if we got it like right then and there, like if that was the issue, we would still have to wait for a patch for the next generation consoles. So
Mhm.
like you're gonna get what you're gonna get, whether it was March or fucking September. What we get is what we're gonna get. There's not gonna be a lot of changes between then and there. It's just optimized at that point.
Nice, brother. And let's get somebody else involved here. Let's go to my brother Crispy. Crispy, I know you're on Twitter, so I know you have seen kind of like what's going on with people talking about Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed until September. People are trying to point the finger. One of the first people I did see like try to point that finger, I think, is MBG from YouTube, and man, I was like, wow, you're really trying to stretch here. What do you think about this? A game being developed for this generation of hardware, people trying to point to it saying this is why Xbox shouldn't do forward compatibility. Do you think that's all bullshit, or do you think there's something there that they're talking about that's kind of based in reality, bro?
Well, I'm going to look at it this way, and I've thought long and hard about this for a while. The fact is that all of a sudden, after Xbox drops it at the Game Awards, all of a sudden, all these games, especially ones that Xbox has the marketing rights to, like Dying Light, like CD, like freaking Cyberpunk, you're all of a sudden pushing your games back, and I almost like everybody says it's because they can't optimize it correctly for the old consoles. I almost think that they didn't know what they were getting with the Series X. And we know how Xbox likes to go Xbox One enhanced, Xbox One X enhanced. So what if they go and say, okay, you give yourself another 2 months, re-optimize it, and then we could throw it out there as Series X enhanced. I think that would be pretty smart,
Well, September would actually
ball.
be 7 months, brother. Like, it's not 2 months. It's like 7.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like they're pushing their games back. Like a lot of these multiplats are just putting them back for some reason. And I just feel like everybody already knew the PlayStation dev kit was already out there. You know what I mean? So it was already out there before even, the Game Awards. But everybody remember how everybody was like, oh, like they're behind. There's no dev kits out there. Well, maybe they're not leaking it, or maybe they were just like, okay, here's the final product. Here you go. Or you're already using the dev kit from the Xbox One X. Guess what? That thing's probably twice as powerful as the actual X. We don't know. You know what I mean? They never released the specs of the dev kit. They only released specs of the X when it came out. So we can't sit here and say Xbox already had, half of what they needed in their hand, but then they added more and said, we're going to slap Sony real quick. You know what I mean? And we're going to do this and that. And then you're going to go into, okay, like, oh, you got a better SSD than us. Well, we got everything else better. And I know we're going to get into that.
You're jumping topics right quick, man.
Well, I'm just saying, like people are throwing out narratives at this point, and we look at it through what CG Project Red just said like a day ago, and what even I think it was like Push Square or whoever.
Push Square, but they actually said PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
Push Square
exactly.
actually said both consoles, and
MPG. I love how the narrative is, let's take this little part of it and then we'll X the parts that we don't want to hear about.
Yeah, exactly.
So in general, like, let's everybody wait and see what the hell happens. Like, that's the way I'm thinking. But at this point, for a game as big as this one to be pushed back, I have absolutely no problem with it. None whatsoever. If they have problems in the game that they need to fix, let the guys fix it. Mm-hmm. Let's not throw our hands up in the air.
They're gonna add more content. Like they were talking about adding more types of cars to the world. They said they wanted to make the world feel absolutely alive, and the way it is right now, it's playable, but they don't have that feeling for what's it called? I think it's called Night City.
Night City. Yeah. That's what it is. But here's my prime example, okay? And the one gripe I had, and it's one of my games of the decade, Fallout New Vegas, one of my games of the decade, okay? But it was very, very, there was nothing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had your enemies, you had everything else. But, like, when you walk through New Vegas itself, there was nothing in there. And we don't want that, because if we had the, the more hyped up, like, it felt like a city and everything else, like this thing coming into fruition, like, when you're talking about, like a center point in a universe like Night City is going to be, you cannot sit here and tell me that you want it to be empty. And don't get me wrong, there might be different experiences from the OG Xbox One to the Series X. There's probably going to be different experiences. But if they've already been optimizing it for one, I blame it on the Series X. I don't blame it on the Xbox One. Okay, I blame it because Phil was like, here you go. And you don't know, at the end of the year, they could have shipped out all the freaking dev kits for these guys, and they're the actual console. We have no clue, because the only leak we got is the back of the actual console. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's what they did. They said, you know what? We're not going to mess around. Like, you already been working on Xbox games for a while. We're not going to mess with the ecosystem. This is what we're going to give you. You know what I mean? You're going to get this nearly the same UI with some tweaks here and there. You're going to get, up-res on certain consoles rather than others. It's basically like a cell phone market. Like you have KitKat and you have this, you know what I mean, on Android. You know what I mean? Like these are, Microsoft is a software-based company. They can do this shit. Okay, they can do this shit behind the scenes, and we don't even know about it. And that's what I hate, when people are just like, "Oh, it's this console's fault or that one." No, maybe CD Projekt Red's like, you know what? We can do more with this game with this new console, and they didn't realize it.
Yeah, maybe, man. So, like, it's funny to me, guys. Well, first off, I want to give a couple shout outs here real quick before we move any further. First off, shout out to Others Inc., who is a moderator here. Good to see you again, brother. Shout out to Lady Foxfire and Delilah HD. Now, Delilah says she is lurking in the background. She is one of the smartest gamers I know. It is always good to see her. And, of course, Lady Foxfire, absolutely awesome YouTuber, awesome person in the community as well as everybody else in the chat, guys. Again, thank you so much. If you haven't done it yet, slap that thumbs up button. This is the last episode of season 2, and we are getting ready for season 3. And on that note, K-Mega, we got Crispy over here. He's trying to blame the baby before it's born when it comes to Series X and what's going on with Cyberpunk 2077. What do you think about this delay and people trying to use it as a reason why Xbox shouldn't be pro-consumer when it comes to people who own a One S, a One X, and with the Ford's compatibility? What do you think about them trying to use this as evidence against that, bro?
It got shut down when excuse me, when CD Projekt Red released that little memo or whatever out to the public, basically just debunking all of that. Like, they just said it. Like, I'll read it for anybody who hasn't read it yet, because I mean, it's sad that there's people that will reach so hard for anything to make their platform seem like it's better than the other, or even when the information is out there for them to see that it was already debunked from all these crazy narratives, that they will still avoid the truth like the plague. So let me help some of these people out that may be listening in the chat. Okay, so Cory Balrog, which is the maker of God of War, who actually was the first one to slam that narrative when PlayStation fans was throwing that shade at him about that, and he basically threw shade back, which was pretty cool. But anyway, so Cory Balrog hit the nail on the head. Of course, we're optimizing for the Xbox One and for the PlayStation and for PC, because that's what you do in the latest stretches of a game development. While the game is made, lots of things are optimized because they're all in flux, changing, and still not finished. So simple answers like they delayed the game because of X might make a good rumor, but don't hold a lot of truth. There's always many reasons. Among them, I can speak for myself, simply fixing bugs so the game as polished as possible. No hidden agendas, just working on making the game better. That's it. There's nothing else to be said. All these other crazy narratives that's coming out here, and they're trying to make these distinctions between what's better, or what's faster, what's not, this is being held back because of that. Listen, Xbox has got their strategy, PlayStation's got their strategy, and let's just go with that. That's it at the end of the day. But when these game developers are trying to make these games, they have a decision to make as well. I can go back to what Prayer was saying, look, they could do the Grand Theft Auto method and try to have a game out for people who's going to get it day one, or they could get for the people who's going to buy the new consoles for day one and then have a version for that, or they could just have it to where it could be you could have it, you can play it, and then Xbox will later on do an enhancement for it in a couple of months, a couple of months or so after the launch of the Series X. So it doesn't really matter. It's up to the developer to decide what they want to do. And as we know, I'm sure that CD Projekt Red doesn't want to have another Witcher 3 moment at launch, because the game was absolutely broken. The menus was a mess.
Oh yeah,
the game was buggy, was glitchy, and and I played tons of hours of it, and then I had to stop because it was too much. And then when they gave out a release to saying that they were going to patch everything, it just was going to take a little while. Then that's when I backed off of it and started playing other games, so I know that I could get the best experience. Now, some people just went through and they beat it, or people just gave up on it. Whatever.
After 2 years, like they beat it. That's a long ass game, bro.
Oh yeah, it's a long game. Yeah, it took me about 2 years to beat. So yeah. But regardless of it, it's like, calm down, relax. Let's let's just be gamers and stop trying to be journalists and stop trying to be this and that. I mean, let the people.
Yeah, that's our job, brother. That's our job.
Yeah, I mean, our job, you know what I'm saying, is to sit here and give out information and stuff. But for people that just want to throw out shade just to say something to cause a narrative and just want to do it, you know, just to do it to be a troll or whatever the case may be, it really kind of, in my opinion, makes the developers look like they're, you know, it's setting the place where developers, they're not competent, you know, like they don't know what they're doing. I'm a consumer. I have no experience in making any game, but yet I know better than what the devs do. And that to me is the dumbest narrative ever. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Let these people do what they know, what they can do. Whatever the strategy might be, it is what it is. And like Fred said, like, hey, the game is still going to be glitchy. If the game is going to be anywhere, it's anywhere to the size of what Witcher is, or even bigger, that game is going to have problems. Any open world, any and every open world game has glitches. Hell, even games that aren't open world has glitches. There is not a perfect game out there. So just let them do what they need to do. Wait for the release September, or whenever you want to get the PlayStation for the rim is rumored to come out in October, and then Xbox come out in November, and just roll from that. Let's just enjoy that the games are still coming and nothing has been canceled.
Nice, man. And I want to give a huge shout out to my brother Michael. If I get this last name wrong, I do apologize. Chiricello. All right, a new member to this channel. Thank you, brother, for the support. I definitely appreciate it. I hope you like your first month kind of like icon for being a member. It is, of course, a Battletoad. So I hope you like that, brother.
Air Force brother too. Thanks, man.
What happened?
Oh, he's got the Air Force logo up.
Oh, nice. Okay, all right. So there's a couple pictures going on that are awesome, man. Yeah. Yo, Michael, thank you, brother, for hitting up that super chat with that big thumbs up. I hope you hit that right below where you're watching the show right now, bro. On that note, guys, I think we should move on to the next topic. And for the next topic, I am actually going to switch up the graphics real quick. Now, I know the panel members, because there is a delay here.
And hit that button, because it's great to see my logo, but you got to hit that button. Let everybody else see.
Oh, damn, it's doing it again?
Yeah.
All right. I took care of it last time, yeah.
It did that with me, too, last night.
Yeah. It's YouTube being YouTube again. Just to let you know, K-Mega does not sound this sexy right now, okay? But yeah, we are switching scenes here. We are going to go to the teaser trailer.
I sound like a father. My man Bot sounds like he's my son. Okay, let's go.
Oh, no. Don't sun me, bro. Don't sun me, all right?
Let's go.
Yo, on this note, you're seeing the teaser trailer to something called Project Mara. It is a game, a project in development at Ninja Theory, and I gotta say, me personally, I'm really happy to see things that are in the pipeline when it comes to Xbox. No more, 12 to 18 months. We're only showing things like that are within that window and stuff like that. So I was really happy to see this, but this also melted social media. There was a bunch of people out there talking about like the graphics, whether or not it's real, whether or not it's fake. What's going on here? Is that a real hallway, or is that a hallway in a game? Is that a real staircase, or is that just gaming graphics or whatnot? So I am actually, we ended with K-Mega. We're gonna start with him on this teaser now. I believe K-Mega, you checked out the teaser. You will be seeing it here as well. What do you think about what we've seen for this? I know it's a teaser, so they don't really show you much. What do you think about this Project Mara? And what do you think that like Xbox really, finally heard what gamers were talking about with, tease us what's coming in the future, and this is. Should we expect things like this, like moving forward, man? Them showing stuff that, is in project, early development, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I like the strategy of them to wait on certain things. But also, if you want to do this, just throw a surprise out of nowhere.
Out of
Of course,
nowhere.
out of nowhere, do that. But it also comes down to the fact that they actually got some stuff now to show. So, I mean, at the point in time when we were still asking for things to come out, I don't think that they had a lot of stuff ready to go. I just don't. So, and Phil and them kept it close to the chest, and they wanted to make sure that the stuff was that deals was going to be made, things was going to be taken care of, and then they could actually start showing the showpiece and just get ready for the next gen, and then let the Xbox One be the Xbox One era. That's it, right?
It's kind of like something me and you were saying from like over a year ago in terms of like marketing and stuff like that moving forward, right? So
right. So it seems like they're already kicking in gear. They're actually keeping, more, which has been really weird to see, but it's been a pleasure, is the fact that they've kind of been staying a couple of steps ahead of the competition of just throwing random stuff, just talking about random things, doing the things that they have been doing to get people more attracted or at least interested in to know what's happening with an Xbox. And with this game right here, like on GRG, we talked about this. Like I'm stoked about Ninja Theory. I said this when the day that they said that they acquired them. Like Ninja Theory is that beast. They're that pit bull in the room that you ain't gonna go in because you don't know if it's vicious or if it's gentle. Because it's that because they're just big, man.
What type of mood is that pit bull in right now?
Yeah. And already you're seeing that one of the things the gamers has been asking for is different type of games. Like can we have something that's not the same? And Ninja Theory is going all in, taking a risk, but this might be something that could be their niche, that they're the start of. And that's what I'm saying. Like maybe Ninja Theory could actually be in the top tier of these devs that's coming that with like the Naughty Dogs and the
upper echelon.
The initiative, the upper echelon, the rock stars. I understand that people might look at it like no, but just look at what they're doing with the smaller staffs. Look at these graphics. This is right here. You would think that this was made from one of those killer studios that has hundreds and hundreds of people with it. This is stuff that's only being done with people that have like 40, 50 people. I know that they've increased on their with their studio size, but like they've pushing out 3 different type of games already. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? And with the small amount, and then what we've seen with Hellblade 2, I mean, like, I think it's time to people start looking at Ninja Theory and start taking notice. I understand that Xbox got a crazy portfolio of great studios that they've added and acquired, but I feel that Ninja Theory is that one that could actually take it to the next level with the Xbox studios in general because of what they're doing. Like this looks insane. It got a horror feel to it on top of like it's going into mental depression. It's like they're just doing something different. And it's more than a psychological thriller. Because I mean, if you played Hellblade and beat it, you understood that, wow, this girl went through she was tormented. She was torturing herself. So of her guilt. And it was insane to me how well that was done. And just with a small group of people did all that. And then also a thing that need to be looked at is is what they're doing with facial recognition. Like they're next level on this shit. Like I'm telling you, and it might be one of those things where like everybody's collaborating within the Xbox Game Studios. Like they could start getting information on how to, or maybe people from Ninja Theory can help on other games that can be coming down the line with that type of technology. Like this was all win to pick up Ninja Theory. And this game right here looks fantastic. I don't give a damn how many people working on it, or this game looks stupid, and I guarantee you, and it's going to be on Game Pass too. A lot of people's going to play that, and they're going to enjoy it.
All right, brother. The bigger question before I move on to another panel member real quick. That staircase in that hallway, is it real or is it game graphics, man?
It's game graphics, but they showed a picture of, there was somebody that showed a picture. I think it was Lethal. Shout out to him. he showed like the actual team sitting on that staircase, and then there was a picture of that staircase. Like that's their office. That what you're seeing is stuff from their office at their studio right now, and it's being displayed in a game. Like it's stupid. Like that is impressive as hell. And when you get to that point to where you get the photorealism of where if you can't
that
understand
uncanny valley, man.
Yeah, if you start getting in there, then you're already winning. I mean, and this game is not even out yet. We don't know how long it's going to be before it drops. But just to see these visuals, and also to kind of debunk the Xbox is bringing in these type of games that people have been asking for and been wanting, and here you go. This is big time, man. This is really big time. Shout out to Xbox, and definitely shout out to Ninja Theory for what they're doing.
Hell yeah, they need to make a Kung Fu Chaos in those graphics, man. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, anybody out there in the chat, anybody checking out this show afterwards, I just want to say that hallway and that staircase, if any of you people were saying like ray tracing is no big deal or anything like that, all the reflections that you're seeing within those two scenes are all ray tracing. All right, so I think you might want to sit back, do what we're doing right now. Just put it on a loop and keep watching it, and then really ask yourself if ray tracing is going to be a big deal. You know me, I was out on a limb from the beginning. I did my research on what ray tracing can do, and if the Series X can pull off ray tracing to that level in a project, a game like this, man, it's going to be absolutely insane. But
let me say something. One more thing. I'm seeing some people say this, and this could actually be true. And I would hope that y'all would give Microsoft, or I should say Phil, an apology if this is a game that could be possibly a VR game. Because I mean, it could, but that could also that would mean too that the VR that they're going to be pushing out has got to be next level. Like, I mean, come on,
next level,
like next level, bro. Like this, like that right.
Did you say that because Supersonic's in the chat right now, brother?
No. I saw Supersonic and I saw somebody else. I saw like 2 or 3 people bring up VR, but I'm just making that point.
I'm gonna hold that to Phil until they actually have VR support, man.
But I'm just saying, y'all need to give them an apology if this would be VR compatible, and then like it would pump out those type of visuals.
No, we don't.
Lord.
No, we don't. You know why? Because we waited that long for what he said to actually come to fruition. No apologies necessary, brother.
If you wanted VR, you should have got it on PlayStation or got one on for the PC. Hush your mouth.
All right, we're not going to get into that, man. We're not going to take that left-handed turn. We're going to stay on this highway, and we're going to go to my brother Pred. Now, Pred, you've been able to sit back and check this out. You probably saw the teaser already, man. You got to let me know what you think about the teaser. And then let me know if we can sit back and be like, you know what? They're showing these things in early development now. They said Hellblade 2 was in early development. We got Ninja Theory working on 3 games. Bleeding Edge is about to come out. Is this something we should expect from them now that we're seeing, like, the projects, the early developments? Did they finally hear us when it was like, tease us about the future of the system?
I would say yes, but how far out is this game? That's my biggest.
Dude, it's so far out. They didn't even put early development. They said a project.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see anything from this game for a long time. And I'm gonna piggyback on K Mega. When I first saw this, I thought that it looked like it could be a VR game, but I was talking to somebody I think yesterday, and they're saying that they already came out and said that it was not a VR game. I have to find out where that information came from, but right now, the rumor I heard, it's not a VR game. So
I'm actually afraid it's one of those interactive movie games, like Until Dawn and Detroit. Like, I don't want that. Man.
Great.
I don't want that, brother.
I don't do horror games anyway. So
what?
Well, I would look, man. I don't know if you played Detroit. Did you play Detroit?
No, I played Until Dawn. I think
Until Dawn is good, but nothing is like Detroit is on next level. Like that game, if the game doesn't move you, I don't know what will. That game was really, really good. I like I said, that was one of my favorite games of 2018. And if they're doing the same thing with
you right along with my brother Crap Gamer. You guys talk about that game so much, and I'm like, dude,
Detroit is amazing. I hope that
I'll
game
buy a
comes to
movie
Xbox.
ticket and watch the movie, man.
No, man, you gotta be, man, hold on just a little bit longer. Boy, I was singing out there. Boy, man, I'm telling you, man, that game was
Lord.
fire. So
It's not your turn. You already went.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm sorry, my bad.
Thank you, Pred, for bringing structure back to next podcast, man.
Actually, this is the 4th title for them that they're working on. They have another title called Project Insight they're doing too.
Damn.
So again, I don't know how, a project is that.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Sorry, guys. We lost Pred for a second. I think he's back now. Pred?
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know why it does that, man.
Stop hitting that button, man. Stop muting me.
I hit all the buttons.
You
Switches.
should have muted K-Mega a few minutes ago, but no, you didn't do it to me.
Well, I knew you were going to pull that hook out, man, so we're good.
So, yeah, they're working on something called Project Insight as well. So I don't know what that is. I don't know. We don't know what this game is either, what Project Mario is either. But, for them to be working on that many things, and I think K-Mega said this too. He was like, they're showing us the future. But my question is, okay, we just got this studio, right? Microsoft just picked up this studio. What about the other studios? When can we get teasers from those studios and what they're working on? Because I would expect that what we've seen so far from Ninja Theory are 2-3 years out, but we have studios right under our own umbrella we've had for a long time. They've not produced anything in a while, but we know they're working on projects and we haven't gotten teasers for those. I think the impact with them already doing Hellblade 2, like showing that already, I think the impact would have been a lot better if they'd have showed something from another studio and what they're working on, like The Initiative or like Rare.
I think they're saving The Initiative for when they do their big show. With
and I get that too, but like I'm throwing them all out there. Like there's stuff that we know they're working on with those studios, and we've already gotten a teaser from Ninja Theory. We know they're working on Hellblade 2. Give us a teaser from another studio so we can say, okay, we can actually pinpoint, because Hellblade 2 ain't gonna come out for like another 2 years, and whatever Project Mario is and whatever Project Insight is, like I have no idea what they are. We might not see those games or whatever the fuck they are for another 3-4 years either. Like which one's taking priority? They're not gonna drop 3 like in the same year. So I would rather have seen something from another studio under the umbrella than something else from a studio they already announced the second title for, if that makes any sense.
That's a great point, brother. I will say somebody in the chat, I forgot who it was, said, oh yeah, Beardy Mac said, must have missed Grounded. Yo, Beardy, but that's coming out for this generation of systems, man.
But then also that you're contradicting your own argument about Xbox needing to show something early.
That is true.
Talking to me or him?
I'm talking to anybody, to all y'all. I mean, I'm just saying to anybody out there that's been saying, look, Xbox needs to show us something, and now it's like, well, show us something else.
Dude, I'm happy they're doing it. Trust me.
I'm not disappointing them, sure, because that's something we've harped on a lot. I'm just saying, like, if I was gonna do something else, because we saw Hellblade 2 already. If I was gonna show something else, I would show something from a different studio, because we have how many studios they pick up in the last year and some change.
Oh, they picked up quite a bit, but I also think too is that they're still hiring for the Initiative. I think Initiative is only going to be shown at E3. I think they're also holding a lot of things for E3 as well. I think they might give us little nuggets along the way, but I think that they're saving everything for the big event. Yeah.
Here's something else that I praise them for. Just the balls of doing it, like right here, because typically, like Sony's gonna have their show on the 5th, right? February.
Dude,
5th.
I'm not so sure about that, man. Nothing has been sent to.
No. Let me
reporters.
finish what I'm saying before you cut me off. But they have a show, right? Like they know, we all know there's a show on the 4th or 5th of February, right? And so Microsoft is kind of starting to go tit for tat with them. Anytime they see PlayStation news, they like at least the last month or so, like like when Sony has a stage and they're getting popular in the media, whatever they're doing, like Microsoft has kind of gone back and they've announced something like it's like the Xbox console. It's like the controlled leak of the console, like that kind of stuff. Like there's I don't know if it's on purpose because of what's going on with Sony. They're trying to kind of steal that mind share.
They're trying to do the same thing that Sony did. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
And like we didn't get this from them this current gen. Like anything they had, they would just hold like close to their chest, and we'd wait till E3 to see something or a big announcement. Like it was all timed, and we knew when it was coming. And hell, we knew about it like a week or so before it even showed up. Anyway, like the fact that they're dropping stuff like this, like randomly, like it speaks volumes for what they're doing in marketing. And I hope they continue that. Like even if that leak of the console was, on purpose, that's the stuff they need to do. Like they need to start getting that buzz out there now to get that mind share before the console releases, instead of just sitting here, we're gonna be quiet, not say anything.
Yeah, we'll wait till the unveiling. Yeah,
do it now. Like give us the buzz now and build up to it. That way it's more exciting when we actually get it versus waiting until like that specific day or that specific month or that specific year, that time shit that they've been doing all this other time, where Sony has been dropping little nuggets. Like this current gen, they've been dropping nuggets like just randomly on a random fucking Tuesday, and it happens. And then I think Microsoft is starting to take that and run with it. They're doing the same thing too, which I like. There's a competition for both of them. Now they just need to drop some more shit between now and E3.
From a different studio as well. How many projects can Ninja Theory be doing at once at this point in time? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like even if it wasn't Ninja Theory, like you got Ori coming out. Drop some more gameplay of that, like some information on that. I know there'll be an Inside Xbox or something coming up here in a couple of months.
I get so upset waiting for Ori. Even with the first one, like I felt like they put that it was coming. They never really put a date on it, and then I waited for like 2 years after that. They would say like 2018 or 2017 or something like that. And I'm waiting throughout the year. I'm like, I still don't have a release date for that game. That's definitely a Moon Studio issue right there.
Yeah. But I'll get off my soapbox. I'll let Crispy go.
Oh yeah, Crispy's here, right? Crispy.
Oh, I'm here. Yes,
Crispy, you have been quiet, and I am not used to that, brother. So, dude, I want to get your thoughts on this teaser. Hold on, real quick. Pred, before I let you go, I got to ask you. The hallway and the staircase, is it real or is it game graphics, man?
I think it's graphics, game graphics. I don't think it's real. I mean, I don't know. Because I'm looking at this picture right here, right? Where they're in the hallway. And if you look to the left or to the right, not this image, what I'm looking at this live screen right now, but like, you can see like a movement of a character on the reflection. So I don't fucking know.
Yeah, people were saying in the chat, shout out to the chat. They were saying there's a ghost right there, yo.
I mean, like, you see it, right? Like in that hallway scene where they have like the cubicles, whatever. You can see like on the reflection, you can see like a person moving.
Oh yeah, I see that. Holy crap! Oh my goodness. So you're gonna go with game graphics. All right, brother.
I think it's real.
You think it's real now?
Yeah.
Maybe you said game graphics at first.
I don't fucking know. I can't tell. That's what the question was for. As I ask you, is it real? Or is it not?
That is what they call the uncanny valley, man. That's what developers graphically have been trying to get to for I don't know how long, man. Let's bring it back to Crispy. Crispy, I need to know your thoughts on this teaser that we're showing until the end of this discussion. And then I got to ask you as well, because I know this is something that I've talked about. My brother Crap Gamer has said it as well, where they need to tease kind of like the future of the system. And I feel like, man, dude, I am so happy because, they showed Hellblade 2 in early development. They're showing this Project Mara, which is in such early development, it's still called a project. All right. What do you think about them showing this early? Do you think this is something we should expect kind of like moving forward into the launch of the Series X and stuff, man?
Well, first of all, I want to say a lot of people doubted the acquisition of Ninja Theory. You were completely wrong. Ninja Theory is like upper echelon, going to give you the sensory overload that you require in even a story-driven game. And I guarantee Bleeding Edge is going to do well. I'm just telling you right
They're
now.
very good. They're very good at non-firearm combat in their game. So like when it comes to like swords and melee and stuff like that, dude, Ninja Theory is sick with it, man.
Well, and I want to go back to the fact that we have 4 major sensors in our body, and it's sight, sound, smell, and touch. Okay, and you can't have 2 of them because we're talking about gaming here. But after playing a good majority of Hellblade, I've not beat it yet because it's got me so fucked in the head when I play it that
you just died so many times. You got that shit growing on your arm. You're like, one more time and I'm dead, and I got to start from the beginning.
That could be part of it too, Xbox. Thanks for battle-toading me right there, motherfucker. But in general, you have to realize that all I see from them is they're going to try to do both. They're going to try to give you the sight and sounds, and they're going to try to, just make you, as long as you got the headset on, make you coexist in the universe.
Ooh.
And I feel like Ninja Theory is going to be a master at that because I haven't really felt that in a game except playing Hellblade. I really haven't. Like, you feel the pain she feels. You know what I mean? And it's through the sound more than even the visuals. And I feel like that's the way they're going to go. They want people to understand that people have problems in their head, but also they can make a great game involved in it. And I think that would be insane. And like Hellblade 2 is a next gen, it's going to be optimized for the Series X. This is going to be an amazing game. I think they're going to involve a lot of new things in it. But I think this game is going to go back to their roots and say, we want people to understand mental health. And on top of it, we don't know what this is. We don't know if it could play into all of their other IPs that they're coming out with.
It better not be an interactive movie, though, man. I'm telling you right now, it better not be one of those, bro.
Yeah, but you know what? Some people like that.
Yeah. All right, I'm talking about me personally.
I get what you're saying, and I agree with you.
Stop talking about yourself.
The Dawn!
But in general, we have to think of it as people like those interactive gaming movies. Like me, I want to go pick up the movie ticket and go watch it. I don't want to sit there and play that. But at the same time, like, the beginning of Hellblade 1 is very, very slow, but it gets you into the mentality of Senua. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it gets you like you have this voice and that voice and this voice.
Dude,
and
the voices are creepy as all hell.
What? And you eventually pinpoint the one that's actually telling you the truth or not. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you still have those little like background ones that are just like, oh, this and that. And I'm like, I've never experienced that in the game. And I think Ninja Theory has a niche that they're going to go with, and they're still going to give us the visuals. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's like, oh, AA. Hellblade 2's got double. I'm going to tell you right now, whoever made Hellblade 1 and it was less than what they're making with Hellblade 2 did a damn good job. Just saying. So you're going to tell me you're going to add another 20 to 30 people to another IP that you have? Let them do their work. And I'm going to tell you right now, Microsoft's going to let them do their work. They're going to let them take their time and make a freaking amazing game. And that's what I want. I don't want this broken bullshit. I don't want some kind of promise that they can't keep. I want you to say, okay, in 3 years, we're going to have this game coming out. You know what I mean? And you don't give any day or date or anything. They're saying in 3 years, we're going to have this game coming out, and it's going to be amazing.
Damn, and then get a hurt.
I will, Lansville. I will.
What is going on?
Yeah, it seems like Crispy's a little angry tonight, man. He's got he got that angry energy. Yeah,
he's a little feisty. To be honest.
Don, what's going on? How you doing, brother?
Not much. I didn't want to run over Crispy. You done, Crispy? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you always run over me. It's okay.
Well, no, Crispy has one more part to this. Like, dude, what do you think about them? Showing things in such early development, because this is something, and me and Don have been kind of like on the opposite sides of that arena when it comes down to it. I always said, like, you definitely tease what's coming down the pipeline. Let people know that their investment is going to be a worthwhile investment, you know, like 2, 3, 4 years down the line. What do you think about this, man? Is this a...
Well, the problem has Xbox has put in almost a year that they're gonna release it, or a month or something. Like generally, like they'll be like when they used to do it, it would be like 2 years out, and it really was 3 to 4. But the problem that I have is that PlayStation's done this many times. You know, I mean, way more than Xbox. So I agree with everybody. Like at least I guess the Don doesn't agree, but I agree.
We'll see. Well, I'll ask him as well.
They need to show us stuff like they've shown us. Okay, like and even putting Project in front of it. You don't know the name of the game.
No.
Right?
No, it's like a placeholder.
So it's just a little tease. It's a little like just a tip. You know what I mean? Just a tip.
Oh no.
You know,
Oh,
and that's it. That's all they're giving you. They're not giving you anything huge. They're not giving you the full premise of the game. They're just giving you a little something. You know?
Oh man! And anytime you say anything like just a tip or something like that, I think about your reach around comment from back, you know, a couple months back, man, and it's a little disturbing, bro.
You ever heard the South Park? Hey, I just need an oldie. Remember that?
Oh no. Oh, on that note, I'm sorry to do this to you, Don, but you're gonna have to follow that, brother.
I felt like I should have stopped him now.
Well, brother, thank you for joining us. There was something in particular with tonight's topics I definitely wanted to hear, kind of like your opinion about, because when it comes down to it, there's certain things in game development that you definitely have a knowledge of as well, and also. I would really be mad at myself if I didn't say hashtag Don B before you started talking. So, hashtag Don B in the building.
Baby, just listen to me. Take a seat. Gotta take it, get busy. It's all right, baby. If it's all right with you, come on, dog.
Oh!
Hey,
Man,
Sing
you
it, Mega.
You give that man a new overlay, and he starts busting the lips. I see how it is.
All right, Don, we're talking about Project Mara right here. And hold on. One real quick question to Crispy. Crispy, the hallway and the staircase, is that real? Actually, you know, real life video right there, or is that video game graphics?
That is video game graphics.
Okay. All right.
And the only reason why is they blanked out the pictures that are on the sides.
Ooh,
and
listen to this dude.
And I'll tell you right now, ray tracing is going to be much more fruition for Xbox Series X than PlayStation, just because we don't see this type of thing coming out of a console like PlayStation at this point. Like, yeah, they might beat them in some points, but not others.
All right. So Don, I'm gonna have to. I have a couple people asking me to stop looping this thing for some rhyme or reason. So I'm gonna go back to our core graphic real quick, and I wanna ask you first off, what do you think about the teaser for Project Mara? And of course, again, you know, it's something we've talked about a couple times, but the topic's back up again. You know, you got Xbox showing early development, Hellblade 2, a project that doesn't really necessarily have like a game name yet with Project Mara. You know, I'm excited, man. I'm seeing things that are like down the line, and I'm getting hyped here. Is this something to expect from Xbox moving forward?
Temporarily.
Like launch year temporarily?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think what's going on there, and you know, I've talked about this before too. I don't want them showing crap that far out. I think it's stupid. I'm just gonna say it. I just think it's not the direction the industry needs to go, and that goes for Sony and Xbox in regards to that, because things change so much in game development. I think it just. And I think the way people consume media and the way people judge games, I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's a net negative for everyone involved. But that being said, what Phil's plan is release information closer to the launch of a game, and I agree with that. Where I didn't agree with it is how harshly he cut off to get there. Does that make sense?
Like the timetable itself.
The timetable itself, like
Okay.
if you didn't have anything in the pipeline, right,
Mhm.
that far out, then you got to know you're going to take some hits, and I don't think he's naive to that, right? I think he probably full on knew that. I just don't think he knew how long that hit will continue to, being hit on the chin on regards to that. So, my take was that position of still releasing content near closer to launch. I still agree with that premise, but it's not a position when you have content that's so far out. You have to ease into it. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying here, what I think I'm seeing here is, yes, you're seeing content a lot further out, but expect that to be slowly reeled back to closer to actual launch of a product. And but I think at that point, Microsoft would build up the confidence of their user base and that sort of stuff, that they give them the benefit of the doubt, because look at the last game they just released. Look at this game they just released. You get what I'm saying? I think that's what's ultimately going on there, and that's kind of my take on it. But we'll see where they go in regards to that. Obviously they're using this stuff as marketing right now, being very strategic at keeping positive
Building that
influence out
hype,
there.
brother.
Building that positive influence leading up to the console launch, console release, reveal. I feel like there's a lot more strategy involved in this sort of stuff than people give them credit. So
I can definitely see where you're coming from with that, man. What did you think about the teaser? There's people, the whole question in the beginning, like where he's like, I can't tell what's real anymore. I thought that was a really good way to kind of like get everything started, because then when they show the hallway, they show the stairs. I believe it's gaming graphics as well. I believe that ray tracing is cranked up to 10 on those couple scenes right there. What do you think about the presentation about this Project Mara, man?
that's 100% ray tracing. It's 100% in Unreal.
Ooh, it's an Unreal Engine as well.
Yeah.
Dude, that looks, dude. I know Don, because you're in game development. You deal with graphics. You know about what they call the uncanny valley, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's reaching the uncanny valley right there, where you can't tell if it's real or if it's graphics?
I mean, I can tell it was graphics right off the bat, but I think it's different for somebody like myself that stares
you're
and plays around with it.
Yeah.
And then haven't been able to see things beforehand. Yeah, I mean, and there's certain look to ray tracing I noticed in Unreal, and so that was kind of my giveaway. But it's hard to kind of like put a finger on it and describe it to someone. But there's just like little small details and that are there. But I think, yeah, I mean, it is one more tool to be able to do that uncanny valley, right? I think a lot of people downplay ray tracing and they don't really understand it. And it's because they don't understand it, they downplay it. It is probably the most, if you ask me what the most exciting feature of these next consoles coming around the corner, it's ray tracing.
Oh yeah.
So all the thing that's public knowledge out there, 110% ray tracing is what will make the next kind of leap for people to see. So before the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, that 360 PlayStation 3 era, people keep talking about the resolution was the thing that made the quantum leap, but it actually wasn't. It was normal mapping, right? So there's all these little features that changes the things, the way we look at games, right? The way games can be presented to the consumer. And I really feel ray tracing is the equivalent to what normal mapping was for that 360 PlayStation 3 era. And then you'll see refinements of that product kind of going forward. But it's a cool tool. And I think not all developers are going to use it the same. It's important to kind of keep in mind. Some developers will know how to use it in ideal scenarios. Some developers will tank their frame rate, right? So like it's sometimes it's also one of those things that's good using sparingly. You don't have to use it for everything, right? But it is just one more tool, and I think it's cool that we're seeing stuff like that. So
nice. And I will let you know, I watched an interview with basically the director of Doom Eternal over at id Software, and he said he had to pull developers away from. They were messing around with ray tracing for Doom Eternal, the PC version for right now,
Yeah.
but. He said he had to pull them off of it because like it was like kids with a brand new toy, and they were just going in and they were going nuts with what they can do with ray tracing on that game. So
No,
dude,
it's like, so here's the thing. Here's the way to describe it. Like, imagine having a car, right? And you've had a car since you were like 8 years old, but you can't drive it. You can't get behind the wheel till like you're 16, right?
mm-hmm.
It's like that. And that's what it's like. And we had access to ray tracing for quite a while. We just haven't had real time, and it's not something we're really allowed to play with because we had to utilize that time on other things during that time frame. So, I mean, that's what it's like. And even when I don't use ray tracing, I want to express this too. Even when you don't use ray tracing in a product, say you're scaling to something of a lesser piece of hardware that it's not capable of doing that. Ray tracing is still an amazing tool for basically prototyping lighting in a scene. Does that make sense? That you're able to basically have a target of what you're trying to do, create artificially.
Oh, so you can put develop with ray tracing and see where the light's bouncing, and then make
see
kind
what
of like
it
a
looks
baked
like.
in,
yeah. So you can base it, and then you can go, okay, now that I take the light away,
dude. I never thought of that. Dude.
Obviously, that's how I approach it. So I go, okay, well, now I can look at it and go, man, maybe if I turn off the light, maybe I want to go a little more heavily on ambient occlusion. And what ambient, like all these features people talk about, like ambient occlusions and different types of shadows and all that sort of stuff. All we're trying to do is mimic what's actually out there, right? What ray tracing can do technically on its own. And so you start playing around with that sort of stuff to kind of mimic what light's supposed to do. Like, AO is basically light bouncing, right?
Well, brother, Skent Eastwood in the chat. Yo, shout out to Skent Eastwood, man. A huge supporter of this show and this channel. What is up, brother? He said that ray tracing capability was around even with the PS2.
That was not usable.
Yeah, but it's basically he's agreeing with you that it's been around forever. But like you said, it was the 8-year-old kid who couldn't drive that car yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it is the thing. Like, we were watching movies, special effects. I remember watching what was that movie, Triple X with Vin Diesel?
Oh goodness!
You remember,
it figures the Don would bring up Triple X, man.
Man, you remember when, I just remember there's all sorts of CG scenes they threw in there and some bad green screening, but I remember this avalanche scene they had that was just, you guys go back and watch it, like you may barf in your mouth a little bit watching it.
Oh,
it is so bad and so out of context, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, or like you take you take like the Jabba the Hutt scene that they redid in the Star Wars films, like the New Hope, where Han's like walking around him and he literally looks like a turd sliding across the floor. Like they just look bad, right? And one of the things that you can take probably a different set of artists, and you go back and do those scenes compared to other special effects scenes today, why they look so planted in the world. And one of those things is ray tracing. So that's what's helped bridge that gap between the two. And don't expect, obviously, these next generation consoles to do the level of ray tracing what you see like in a movie special effect.
No, but I am expecting a lot from Halo Infinite because they built an engine. They knew what they were going for, with the Series X and moving forward, stuff like that. So I am expecting to see a lot of kind of like the buzzwords and stuff that they're going to talk about with the Series X and what it's capable of. I am expecting to see a lot of that implementation in Halo Infinite, man.
Well, people will scale it. I mean, people that know how to manage it will know how to scale it back. Will use it in the areas where it's the most effective for how the game's going to be looking, right? What particular thing they want to emphasize, right? And I think ultimately at the end of the day, it is as well knowing when to hold back, or the people that are be able to know how to utilize ray tracing the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So knowing where to apply it and where not to apply it, and then have target goals in mind, what frame rate you're looking for and things along those lines. So it's just one more tool in the tool chest. It is literally the last tool between that and movie special effects. And I honestly think we would have never, like me and Bot have had this conversation. I didn't really think we would have ray tracing in real time for another 20 years.
Dude,
So
we were
this
talking
is
about
exciting.
we were talking about ray tracing when the rumors were swirling about Project Scorpio and stuff like that. And I remember we were going back and forth sharing like ray tracing demos and stuff. So you definitely helped me kind of get on the track to learning exactly what ray tracing is. And dude, I gotta say, I thank you for that, because it's been an awesome trip when it comes to researching exactly what that development tool can really do for a video game, bro.
Yeah, it really can. And so it was just one of those things. Like, this is one of the things to be excited for. There's certain things I try not to talk too up when people get overzealous or anything like that. But if you ask me what's going to be different between this and last gen, ray tracing and what is one of those features.
Nice.
And it's not just about frame rate that will kind of step you up, right? It's not just that. It's not just certain pixel fill rates. It's ray tracing. Ray tracing is the next effect that we get to apply
Brother,
that we haven't been able to apply.
This just brings me back to like when you were saying like when this generation comes around, people are gonna be pleasantly surprised with what they see when it comes to the games being developed for the new hardware. And
I'm thoroughly convinced though there's also going to be people that don't give a crap. They're going to look at it and they're going to like, what's the big deal?
Of course.
So, but that's the thing is, and I don't think they're even negative people. I think this just in general, we're at this weird, process where we're continue to going forward and visually, but it's just, for some people they're going to see it, some people are not, and the people that can appreciate that will really appreciate and emphasize what's really going on there. But at the same token, I just think people are just so focused on the wrong things when it comes to these new consoles, to be honest with you. So
I got you. Yo, huge shout out to Albert G. K Mega. I hope you're listening right now. He's like, I believe it's pronounced race tracing.
Race tracing. Hashtag race tracing. Shout out to my boy 100. Man, race tracing was fantastic, boy. I'm telling you. That's that new tracing. Only Xbox got that. Race tracing. PlayStation can have ray tracing, but Xbox gonna have race.
It's only for Forza 8. That's what it's for.
maybe. Shout out to my boy 100, man.
Yeah.
Really good guy, man. Really good dude.
Nice. And on that note, guys, I think we should take it to the solid state. Basically, we're going into a topic. A rumor has come out that the PS5 SSD or solid state drive may be up to 50 to 100% faster than the Series X solid state drive when it comes to the hard drive in these new systems. So, of course, there's people out there, my drive is going to be faster than your drive and all this good stuff. And I'm sitting back and I'm scratching my head, because I remember certain things said about the solid state drive, especially in the Series X, because that's where we got the most information. And before we get into that, a super chat has just popped up. Yo, shout out to Reformed Tone hitting up that super chat, showing love and support for the show and the channel. He says ray tracing will also reduce game development time. Now, Don, do you have anything to say about that? Is that true as well?
It can, depending on here's
utilization,
the thing,
right?
Yeah, it depends on utilization on that sort of thing, right? Because they're always going to scale the lighting back, so it's not ray tracing on, say, lesser powerful hardware that can't do it, and that's just on the PC side of things. But I think what it does, it gets to that plateau quicker of what you can really do.
Okay.
And then gives you a target to go for instead of fiddling around until you get there, right? So, yeah, it can, but I just wouldn't read too much into that.
Dude,
it just depends on the team.
As you're saying that, like, dude, you got me stuck on that idea of using ray tracing, seeing how the light is supposed to bounce in any given scene, and then kind of pulling that back and doing kind of like the more traditional, kind of like things we're used to, this generation in terms of lighting and stuff like that. That's where I can definitely see like it speeding up development time that way. You know exactly where your light points are and all that good stuff.
But let's say, like, this is why I have to say you have to be careful with that. Yes, that may help in certain situations, but certain developers may still take that same amount of time and polish it even more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's true.
That's talking about a utilization of time. So sometimes it may translate to better results, and not necessarily, quicker development times. In some cases, it'll be quicker development times. It depends on the team. So that's why I have to be like, I try to be very careful because I'm trying not to speak for another team. I'm just speaking for myself and how I've been utilizing and how I've been playing with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, and when it comes down to it, like, here on this show, we never expect you to, like, talk about it in terms for another team, any of the topics. It's all about kind of like you and what you're doing, what you're using, stuff like that. And we kind of squeeze that orange of the game development knowledge that you have and to kind of sweeten up the show a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I have to clarify because I'm not just talking about with you guys. I'm talking to the whole entire audience. So
from now on, whenever you come on the show, I will make a disclaimer and I'll put it on the show so this way you don't have to repeat yourself when it comes to that, and you can just sit back and share your opinions, brother.
In my opinion, there you go.
Oh no,
no, I'm not gonna do that.
Crispy's never short of opinions, by the way. But yeah, let's get into the whole solid state drive thing. I know somebody said in the chat that it's been debunked. I have not seen that out there on social media or any type of articles or anything like that. Of course, I was working all day today. So, today usually on Saturdays during the day, I can't really dive in on research. It's really busy at the vape shop, and all that good stuff. But for people talking about the speed of the solid state drive and whether or not that is kind of like the end all be all, people trying to tout it as like, oh, my solid state's going to be faster than yours. I keep going back to when they were talking about the solid state drive and having the ability to use space on the drive for virtual system memory, virtual RAM. And and when I look at this being kind of like I guess you could say being a novice when it comes to tools and game development and stuff, I'm like, well, if it's fast enough to be spun up as virtual RAM, I don't think there should be any. I think that's good enough for what's coming down the pipeline. Now, Don, again, I know you talked a lot on this, but this is one of those key topics I was like, damn, we need the Don on here. When it comes to the solid state drives and the speed of it, you heard what Xbox said, the ability to use it as virtual memory, system memory, all that good stuff. Is that really all that's all the speed it really needs when it comes down to it? And everything else that we're talking about with the solid state drive is possibly just, the load times for games and whether you're waiting like a couple seconds more or something like that.
I'm never going to complain when a hardware team gives you more, right? Like I'm, you know what I mean? But I think a lot of people are focusing on the wrong stuff. Like once again, leading up to this generation, in regards to this, the fact that we're getting solid state period, is a huge improvement. Mm-hmm. The memory controllers, and this was in, I believe the Vega cards, if I remember correctly. They had a special memory controller in that basically allowed you to pull. It lists like all the RAMs they can do, and other storage devices if they were fast enough, right? And this is so. My thought process back then was like, if they can financially make solid state drive feasible, people are going to take. The next hardware will take advantage of that. I didn't think it was a very likely scenario. I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm glad we're getting it. But then again, like. These sort of discrepancies, what you're talking about where it'll affect you is the initial game load-in time. Mm-hmm. And these are everything that people are arguing over are substantially fast enough to constantly load that information into the world quick enough that you really can't notice it, right? So you're not going to get those weird pop-in things. You're not going to get, you still have your draw distance going to be way out there as far as that goes. And a lot of that too is managing how that transition, how things are drawn in as they get closer. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago, it was made very clear what Xbox's strategy for drawing in things closer into visible view is a part of. So there's all these like little bits in regards to that. I just think people are just so focused on the wrong thing. I think the initial load time, if one world takes 5 seconds and the other one takes 2, I just don't think that's going to affect your buying decision.
Yeah, and so I'm pretty much now. I do have a super chat. I do want to shout out real quick. So hold on to that real quick. Reform Tone hitting up that super chat one more time. He said Xbox executives have already confirmed up to 40 times the speed with their proprietary SSD. Yeah, dude, we go back to what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Even back when they announced like the Series X, they announced the new hardware, and even kind of like their vague kind of like marketing speak where they're touching on specs, but not to a T. You know what I'm saying? They're still being vague about it. They still want you there for the unveiling, all that good stuff.
Put it this way: if you ask me if I want a slightly faster solid state or if I want more RAM, the answer would be more RAM.
Okay. Now.
So just to be clear, so RAM is still king here.
Yeah, developers always want RAM. That's like the biggest thing they always ask for.
Well, texture files are so huge now, right? Like, so RAM is still key in all this. So if you can utilize more RAM to games, you're still going to get better results than even the fastest fictional hard drives going forward. But so I then again, I would say I'm not defending like a Microsoft Sony thing here. I'm very specifically not mentioning which one's faster or anything like that along those lines, because I know different ones are at different stages and different developers have different kits, and there's stuff going on out there, right? But I'm saying regardless of who's faster or who's a little bit slower is really not going to affect the end result. It's not going to hold one particular piece of hardware back over another. In regards to that, take it or leave it, put it to test when the stuff comes out. But
well, brother,
I think
VRS, because a lot of people talk about popping and yo, Face 23 representing the boogie down, hitting up that super chat as well. He said Microsoft has talked about the SSD. Sony demonstrated their SSD. Yes, they did, but it was also a really controlled environment, and it was only one thing in terms of traveling from one side of the city to another. But that does show, kind of like the one of the things that people were talking about were popping when it comes down to it. And Don, that's something that VRS would also help kind of like alleviate as well, right?
Their solutions are not the same, right? So if they don't have the exact same approach on their solutions, it's really hard to judge it, right? It's kind of like remember Mark Cerny talked about 8 T-flops versus 6 T-flops regarding 4K.
I remember the half T-flops, man. That's great.
But what it is the user base took his words out of context, right? Like, yes, for the way the PlayStation's architecture was at the time, you would have needed that much T-flops to hit those goals, right? Microsoft had a different approach, right? And so when they kind of offload the code and those commands, for the X12, it changed everything. Like, it changed the way it was handled. So that's the thing, is what you guys are getting is small little bits and pieces that are out there. And I know I'm like dancing around like a sombrero, right? Like,
yeah, it seems like, dude, you don't usually stutter, but there was a couple stutters in there, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I don't cross the line, because I know certain things are not finalized and stuff like that. So people will use that against other people down the road.
Yo, Brian Baker in the chat just went after you, brother.
Oh yeah, whatever. It's just Brian. but so I mean, that's just how that sort of stuff goes and how that stuff works. Everyone's just taking things a little bit out of context. Wait until when the final products are out there and see how that applies to you. See how it applies to your favorite games, right? People's favorite games are going to be, they're going to be exclusive. They're also going to be multi-plats. See what that experience is going to be for you before you start making the judgment calls. But I can tell you right now, no developer is complaining about the solid state in either one of the consoles. No one's complaining about that. So.
Nice, brother. And so, like That was one thing. I already went out on a limb on Crossfire, and I was telling people, like, why are you getting all hyped up if your game loads in 5 seconds, and then, you know, somebody with an Xbox, the game loads in at 10 seconds? Because at the end of the day, if these solid states are quick enough to be spun up as like virtual memory, then in my mind, they're plenty fast enough for the consoles that are coming out and the experiences that we're going to be playing on them.
Yeah, I don't think with the solid state drives that I've had connected to my Xbox One X, I've ever bragged about the fact that my solid state drives are faster than bots. Like that's just not.
He's thought about it though. He's thought about it.
Well, I know it is, but that's something I have to brag about, right?
Can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Sure.
And I don't know, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't Xbox One, the OG, load up quicker than the PS4 on multiplats?
I never really looked into that.
I don't think that.
It's one of those things. Then again, it was pointless then, and it's pointless now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. Because in general, we're thinking about things that, you know, may not matter to the casual gamer. Because, you know, in the end, Xbox is looking to the casual gamer and saying, hey, we have Game Pass. Hey, we have everything else. It's all
Blades, you get excited over hard drive speed. Let's be real now, man. You in that PC elitist kind of like territory over there, bro.
I mean, and then I think too, when developers are talking about how excited this is, they're just excited the fact that how they can stream data into games that they couldn't.
Yeah, they have way more options, like going into the next.
But that doesn't also magically make what they're building on their new consoles being held back by other hardware. It's not, because you got to remember, third party, they're still going to release stuff on PS4, right?
Yeah.
And it's practically the same code. The difference is the probably the texture assets and the lighting, right? So, you know, they're literally in probably different native resolutions, things like that. So, I mean, realistically, it is virtually going to be very close to being the same code going forward. So is that mechanical drive it's going to hold back on the PS4? It's going to hold back to PS5? It's not. It just really isn't, because what happened on the PS4 is they'll just figure out where to make load times. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, when they talk about forwards compatibility and stuff, of course, you know, the Series X is going to have a solid state drive. It's going to be quick as hell. But the only, like, you know, there's going to be no parity. So at the end of the day, if you're buying a game that, you know, it's going to be a Series X game, but it can be run on Xbox One, you're going to get load times. You're going to get stuff like that you're normally used to when it comes to like the Xbox One. This generation of devices, you're used to load times.
Yeah, Sir X-Men on the SSDs burning out on your super chat there.
Well, you got to give him a shout out first, man. You can't just go into the information.
It's Sir X-Men. Don't worry about it.
Shout out to Sir X-Man. Thank you, brother.
But I will say this: the hard drives, earlier SSDs did, but that's like first couple years. We're well beyond that now. So.
Yeah, they're becoming the standard now, basically.
They're becoming a lot more reliable, for sure.
Right. We got to hear from my brother Pred. And just as I say that, guys, thank you so much for all the support and love coming from the chat right now. Andrew Wilkins hitting up that super chat. And I'm going to stop it real quick before it keeps moving on me. He says, Quantic Dream had a Project Kara game in development last gen for PS3. Now Xbox has Project Mara. Why does Microsoft constantly copy Sony? I don't think they're copying Sony there. There's one letter that's different, so it's a brand new thing, okay? And unless Project Kara was a project dealing with kind of like mental fears and stuff like that, if it has the same premise, then I think you're onto something, man.
But just give it to him.
Just give it to
cool. him. You got him. You got him.
I thought I was making sense, man.
I got you. But I'm just saying, Andrew, you got him. Okay, you got him, man.
Well, I think, you know, people are trying to disrupt me before I get to my brother Predator. Yeah, I think this show.
No, I just want you to get to Predator sooner.
Yo, the show needs more Predator right now. So, yo, Pred, when it comes to the SSD things here, when people are claiming about the 50% to 100%. Do you think that has any real effect here going between platforms, whether it's PS5, whether, it's Series X. Do you think this is something that people out there should be kind of like cheering and championing for, or are you more on the Don side of things here when it comes down to it, man? Like, people are just kind of praising the wrong type of thing right now.
Who cares? I'm over here
you're
like,
yawning?
Jesus, this
Dude.
is like the most boringest topic ever.
Dude, I thought it was absolutely interesting, to be really honest with you.
I mean, okay, look at it this way. How many people use external hard drives?
I have an external on my
You
X.
load your games on that. It's coming from that. So like doesn't that
Dude, I'm gonna have
affect?
to invest in an SSD.
All right, so to answer your question, and I've talked about this in passing before on the podcast. It's they're going to have a pool memory set aside for like a cache, virtual cache, essentially.
What the hell does that mean in English?
So basically, they'll load from one hard drive to another. That's faster, and so just already be up in the queue, and that the hard drive is super fast. That's
So
the
like,
general idea.
Like if I buy a SSD, make it external or whatever, how does that change my load time from?
Let's say you didn't buy an SSD at all. Say you had just like a 700 RPM hard drive that's external on your Series X or your PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
What that will happen is basically they'll pull the game off that hard drive. So that initial pull from the hard drive is going to be slower, but it virtually is going to sit there and live on the much faster hard drive, which is the SSD on the units. And so you don't really get a performance hit. You actually get to take advantage of that higher performance hard drive. And that's how it's going to be utilized.
Nice.
So we're looking at what, like, let's say a game like, I don't know, fucking Cyberpunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
The SSD in the PlayStation 4 or 5, I'm sorry, and the SSD in the Series X, we're talking about just regular boot up time. How much time? Like difference, I guess. Like just
within seconds.
Yeah. So like, who
So-
cares? That's my whole point. Like, who gives a fuck? Like,
Yeah, it's like
I get to scratch my balls another second or something.
Here's
Well, brother,
factual.
we're trying to put the facts out there for people who might not like
And that's
look
why I'm
into
asking
it
these
the way
questions,
we do.
because
Yeah.
like some people don't know, and so I'm like, I'm being stupid, but like it's not a lot of time. Like it's not like oh my god, I'm at a stoplight for 10 minutes,
And he left 5 seconds, like
oh shit, like oh my god, like there's a whole fucking 30 seconds of my life.
Well, what it affects is your initial load and your ability to stream assets into game. So like imagine a big world and stuff like that. Most games moving around in the world, the speed is not dictated by the hard drive, unlike earlier demos would lead you to believe. Most of those restrictions are put on by the developer.
Did you just throw a jab at the Spider-Man kind of like leaked hard drive speed there?
No, that's people taking things out of context once again, right? That's the whole problem with all this stuff is they're totally taking it out of context, but is being able to stream stuff in quicker is what they were trying to demonstrate.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is game developers will dictate your speed and movement in the world way, way early in the stages of the development.
Brother, I got to stop you. These things are piling up real quick. Hold on 1 second. Yo, shout out to Xbox Battlegrounds hitting up that super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, great job, brothers. And I agree. Thank you so much. Great job to you, by the way, as well. Mr. Positivity from Xbox Live, Brian Baker, otherwise known as Delirium Blades. He says, eat a bag of D's. Let's stop talking about hard drives, please. Hashtag supporter privilege and hashtag, dude, I have to say it. Hashtag me too. Like, damn, brother. Dude, we got to put the information out there.
Got one more out there too.
Yes. And again, Reform Tone hitting up that super chat one more time. Thank you, brother. I'm glad you are enjoying the show. He said, did Sony confirm if their SSD functions as VRAM? And I don't think so, man. I know Xbox did it, and everything kind of like in my research file for both kind of like platforms moving forward, I have nothing about Sony using their SSD for virtual memory. Does anybody on the panel know if it's been confirmed from Sony that their SSD is going to be used kind of like in that same manner? I'm gonna take that as a no. I wish I had a cricket sound, yo. There we go.
but what I was trying to illustrate for Pred is, it's that streaming of data into a game, right? And that's where developers are excited, right? Mm-hmm. So what they're able to do is you're able to push out draw distance. They can wait till the last minute on that pool of memory that they can elongate to other things, right? So that's where they're excited about when it comes to these new solid state drives. But it's not anything they haven't been doing already. And the speed of a game is dictated much earlier on, way before the limitations of a hard drive.
I'm just thinking this is just another fucking goalpost that people are trying to create.
That's what.
I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference between, one SSD to the next. It's gonna matter that much in gaming. Like, oh my god, fucking a third of a second. Like, just let it go. It ain't that serious.
A third of a second.
There's no developer complaining. That's what I'm saying. Like, no one's complaining. It's like, man, I really love this, but man, this particular platform just, man.
I mean, I have an SSD in my PC, and it like, I turn it on, it's on. Like, I love that. Like, versus like my old laptop or whatever I used to have. Like, you turn it on, you gotta wait for shit to load in there. You gotta wait for everything in the background to run, and it takes a couple of. Like a minute.
So you've already experienced solid state, right? So what I'm saying is, imagine that being a little bit faster right now.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like your operating system works a little bit quicker, and
would that even impress you as somebody that's already experienced solid state?
I don't think it's a big deal. And
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like people that have already experienced solid state, and I will say this: both systems have a faster solution than what you have. That you can buy for your PC right now. So, but the thing is, like, it's not really that big of a deal. Is what I'm trying to drive home. So,
damn, brother.
No, done.
Yo. Well, first off, damn good asks. He asked me to ask the Don, and I'm just gonna leave this out here. I'm gonna voice my opinion on this. He says, "What about my SSD that I got now on my X?" Basically that he has now on his Xbox One X. Will it help the Series X with speed? Of course, it won't be as fast. And I think Don already answered that with the pool of memory.
It's the initial load, right? It's gonna it's gonna go to that cache, and then once it's in that cache, that hard drive is not gonna hold you back.
Nice. Now, K Mega, we haven't heard from you in a while, brother. So, what do you think about this whole SSD thing, and people saying, well, my SSD is going to be faster than yours? Are you going to kind of like follow the hype there with that kind of drama? Or are you kind of leaning towards what the Don is saying? And I'm glad, like, I've been, pretty much accurate on other shows with talking about it. It seems like if the SSD is fast enough to be used as virtual system memory, then I think it's plenty fast enough for the consoles that are coming out. What do you think, bro?
I don't give a damn. I got an M.2 in my PC. My shit runs laser quick. So I understand what the capabilities of it is and how fast it can work. And if you don't know what an M.2 is, it's better than an SSD drive because it's a thing a little device that goes into your motherboard, so it's feeding off of the
so you know, the new solid states on this is supposed to be even faster than that.
Well, I don't give two shits next.
But that's the point, right? You don't because you've experienced it.
Don't care. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like my PC develops. I mean, not develop, but it boots up so quick. Everything that I want to pop up, boom, 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 boom. It's quick. Fuck it, move on.
Yo, Reformed Tone hit up that super chat one more time, and I love the comment under it. He goes, "Oops, I accidentally hit super chat." Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
I don't care. This is so stupid. I'm enjoying playing Indivisible and ignoring every bit of what everybody was saying, other than what this stupid ass point was.
Dude, but we gotta put it out there, like how bad of an argument that is, man.
No, we don't.
Dude, I feel like we have a responsibility here, bro, to put the facts out.
there's a responsibility to ignore dumb shit, and
Yeah.
this was dumb shit.
What I love is somebody tell me I'm wrong. Xbox One used to boot up better than PlayStation
Dude,
4.
Crispy, is that what you're gonna run with on this topic?
I'm just saying, dude. Like, everybody's like on this narrative, like the SS, like you've seen all like the memes, like, oh, this is Xbox SSD. Are we talking a second? Are we talking 2 seconds?
We're talking
you could
seconds.
Say 50%. You could say 100%. But let's say Xbox boots up in 1 second and you boot up in a half second. You know what I mean? You can't boot up in less than a half second, in my opinion.
It don't matter.
See, Black Rider said Crispy gonna die on that hill.
Yeah, man. Look, this is somebody in the chat was over here trying to throw shade because it has something to do with the silly ass narrative about who's better and who's not. I give two shits. I don't care if the PlayStation's is better or worse.
I want them
it doesn't
both to
matter.
be great. Man.
Listen. If you don't have anything that's hooked up to your PC that even or even to your consoles that even is in that same realm, then why are you even talking about it?
You know where it really matters? Here's where it would really matter. If one system was using a mechanical drive and the other one was using a solid state.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I remember playing Anthem and like I'd be playing with other players and like I would load in way before they would.
Waiting
They'd
for
be like
them.
half whip the fucking map and they would pop in like fucking 30, 40 seconds later. Have to catch up to me. So I don't know if that was an SSD thing or
that could be internet connection and it could be a lot of things. So I mean that's the saying, like SSD is not always hard drive or it's not always going to be the thing that holds that stuff back.
It's not the answer to the problem. The problem is that we all have different internet connections. I mean, some of us have 5G. I mean, I know people in Philadelphia and Atlanta that have freaking 5G already. And they are booting up way before me, and they're playing on the Xbox One S, and I'm playing on the X. And
are you a little jelly about that, brother? I think.
Of course I am.
Yeah.
In general, like I sit there and I'm like, I have the regular fucking Cox Communications bullshit, and I'm like,
you have what?
What the hell?
You have what?
Cox Communication. We got the same thing. Yeah,
you got Cox too, K Mega?
Yeah.
Yes, I got that gigablast. That's what I call it, the gigablast, baby. I got way faster speeds than you. That's all I know. So,
dude, I'm dealing with Optimum, man. Nah, I'm not even gonna talk about that. Yo, shout out Basement Radio Arcade Podcast is in the chat. What is up, Enrique? How are you doing, brother?
No, I like to not even talk anymore about this. Let's get to the next topic, please.
Let's get to Superman then. How about that? Let's get to
let's talk about something that's worth a damn.
Let's talk about a potential game coming out, man. What was it? Comicbooks.com came out with an article talking about a rumor that Rocksteady is working on a Superman title that just might be exclusive to the Xbox, Series X. I'm thinking it would be Series X since they're still in development. I don't see it coming out within a year up from right now or whatnot. But a superhero game exclusive to a certain console. I mean, that sounds kind of familiar. And before we get into that, Face 23 from the Boogie Down hitting up that super chat. What's the Don's thoughts on John Lenneman? Oh no, man, he's bringing Digital Foundry into this, brother. So be prepared, strap in. John Lenneman from Digital Foundry saying games can be held back at a design level when it comes to cross-gen games for the Series X. Now, Don, before you touch on that real quick, I just want to state something to my brother Face 23. Again, thank you for the support, all that good stuff. We're going to go in on what you just asked about. Now, in that video, they also stated that very rarely does a launch lineup truly utilize the hardware of the system that it's going to be run on. A lot of times when it comes to the launch lineup, they go in heavy on graphics because at the end of the day, the graphics are going to that's what's going to catch most of the gamers' eye right there. Graphics are they are one of the most scalable things when it comes to game development. They're going to go heavy on graphics when it comes to launch lineups and really get people to kind of look over there and be like, oh, damn, that's the PS5, or oh, damn, that's the Series X, and that's what's going to hook a lot of gamers who might be on the fence. So they very rarely come out with launch lineup games that truly utilize the new CPU and stuff like that. But Don, what do you think about that, bro?
Well, here's the thing: it's Digital Foundry I've never looked at it as somebody in the position of authority. If someone else wants to put a little bit of weight into what they have to say, I mean, that's up to you guys. But I've never really hold anything they've said really in super high regards. In regards to what he's talking about, what the short-sightedness of what his statement is basically we're building games with excess. Bot talks about scaling back graphics, but those are tethered to something. They are tethered to the CPU. So more items on the screen, that affects your draw cores. So if you don't put as many objects on the screen, guess what? You just gained additional power or additional usable resources on the CPU side of things. And so like everything has a cause and effect in regards to that. So there are plenty of stuff you can scale back. It would be a much different argument, and this is the reason why I think his argument doesn't hold up, is what he keeps talking about is from the PS3 generation to this generation. But what we didn't have in like the PS3 and the Xbox 360 generation, we didn't have an excess of resources to use, right? Those games were built on shoestrings, right? So like literally they didn't have overhead when they were all said and done when they were released.
Can I say this? Is it like more like you're the character and there's the enemies and there's nothing else involved?
It's pretty much some bare minimum objects, right? But if you look at a modern day game today, they don't need a damn teapot on the countertop.
Dude, look at Control. Control has everything on the desks, man. Like, it is insane.
But yeah, you can take half of that content and pull it off, and then what you've done is created additional GPU overhead, right? And you also have increased a little bit of CPU overhead, right? So games are kind of developed heavy-handedly on the graphics side of things versus the CPU side of things. But when you do affect certain things on the GPU, you do increase CPU overhead. So a lot of game development, what they do is they approach their game as, I mean, I can't speak for every studio once again, right? But I can speak for the ones I've interacted with. And what they do, they have an early concept stage. And that early concept stage is what's the movement speed? What's the refresh rate makes the most sense for what they're doing? What is the engagement of what they're doing? How far do I need to see out in the distance? So what they do is they set parameters of the fundamentals of their gameplay, the core elements, right? And what they do is they basically set those as priorities when they're basically putting together the game. So when they start optimizing, start getting to that final code, they start prioritizing certain things and they build around that. And that stuff is still scalable. And that's the thing. So I think they would hold more water what he was saying if we didn't have an excess of just stuff in games that have nothing to do with the game that we're doing. But the fact is that we have excess. And now we're going to do is have games with more excess. And then the other element is argument people are like, well, what about AI? I'm going to tell you right now, the current CPUs and our current consoles, and I would say what we can't even put into our next consoles, CPU development has been so slow. The thing that's holding back AI is the fact that what CPUs we can just get, period, regardless of low end or high end. CPU development has not been on the same pace as GPUs.
That is true.
So the best thing, my best answer to that is the limitations on AI. Honestly, the next level of that stuff is going to be coming through cloud. I'm just saying right now, the biggest improvements you're going to see in that are going to be in cloud. Period. And it has nothing to do with the scalability thing.
Dude, you got to be careful about saying that C word out there.
Well, man. It doesn't matter what piece of hardware we're talking about. It doesn't matter if we're talking about PC or the next PlayStation or the next Xbox, right? The limitations on CPUs are not even with the newer, more powerful stuff, it's not even close to the advancements we've done on GPUs. So realistically, cloud makes the most sense. And if you think about it, the latency differences that you get from an AI interacting in the world, it's not something the player will notice.
Brother, I think AP Cool J, he gave the perfect kind of like example for this whole scalability thing and what's going on and all that good stuff, because Witcher 3, like he says, runs on the Switch. Like, dude, who would have thought of that, man?
I mean, and there's always examples like that, right? But you look at your current hardware that you have right now. It doesn't matter what variant you have of what this generation is. They're extremely powerful. They have a lot of scalability there. So, like, I think when we run out of options on scalability, maybe we can have this conversation. But we haven't hit that glass ceiling, not even close.
Nice. Now, getting back to the whole Superman thing, and guys, I know like people are out there like saying like it's fake and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't necessarily think it's real, because I don't think Rocksteady has ever done an exclusive game for a platform. So I'm looking at kind of like the history of the development studio, all that good stuff, and I think if they're coming out with a game, I think it's gonna be a multi-plat in that scenario. But I'm gonna ask, and I'm gonna go to K Mega first on this one, and then we'll jump over to Crispy as well. K Mega, what do you think about this rumor? Is there any validity in your eyes to them making a Superman Xbox exclusive game by Rocksteady? And this was the key to the topic right here. How important do you think it is for Xbox to have an exclusive superhero game that people, both in the comic book and gaming kind of like hobby lifestyle can get into, bro?
Well, first on the rumor, I think it's not true. I think that Rocksteady is working on something for Xbox. Personally, I just don't see them doing that. Now, going to the point of saying asking of the other question, yes, it's very important, because Nintendo has an exclusive when they have with the Marvel Alliance 3.
That is true.
PlayStation has Spider-Man. Xbox needs something, and if it is with Marvel, it can be with DC. That was something we was talking about on GRG last night, was that, look, there's plenty of DC characters that they could utilize, and you don't have to actually have a hero. You can have an anti-hero. Because people were saying like, hey man, Superman, he's so cheesy, the OP aspect of it, how would the game be challenging, things like that. I understand that aspect of it, but I made the point of like, just look at games that was made with Superman in it, and with all the superheroes fighting against just regular humans, which with the Injustice series, and look at that story and what
they had him under a red sun to take away
his
powers, stuff like that.
Yeah, like that's, and then like if you even just look at the animations, go back to Superman Adventures, like he would fight against regular people that just had like some kind of special effects, not anything that was crazy. Or also he's immune to magic. So there's a whole bunch of aspects that you could use to make a Superman game. But there was something that came, and I'm giving a big shout out to my boy Super G, aka the driver. He showed something that was from that PlayStation thing from Greg Miller, Too Funny, So Funny, whatever the hell that show is called. Is that they were saying that maybe the initiative could be working on something. So it could be a homegrown thing to where they could be working on having a contract with Marvel or DC to make a superhero game.
It's a Winter Soldier game. Come on.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could do Winter Soldiers, you could do Black Panther, you could do you could bring back Deadpool, you get Wolverine. There's so many.
Make an actual good Deadpool game? That would be interesting.
You could do a whole bunch of things with that, with the Marvel side. And with DC, there's a lot of characters out there you could work with. I mean, Sir X-Man was bringing up Wonder Woman. There was, you got Superman, you got Aquaman, you have Green Lantern.
Don't do Aquaman.
Oh, you could do Aquaman. Yeah, I mean, after watching the Aquaman movie, you can. It is definitely you could definitely do that. So it is. There's so many options that can be done and characters that's out there. Like I said, you don't even have to do a superhero. You could do an anti-hero. You know what I'm saying? It's just somebody that's really cool. You could do a Lobo. character from
Ooh,
DC. So like I mean,
oh, dude.
you could do anything. You know what I'm saying? You could do a what's the dude Deathstroke. Like there's so many possibilities that you can run with.
Brother,
It
you had
makes
me at Lobo right there, brother.
right
Oh
like
my goodness.
there's so many options that you can take. It just would make sense for Xbox to jump into that arena. If they don't, I wouldn't understand why not. It's going to sell consoles, and it's also going to bring more publicity to your to your brand and what you're doing now. I don't see why they wouldn't. Now, if there's something like whichever studio that would do it, it'd be great. I would look at it like I know that they only make fighting games, but the way that they story tell is absolutely fantastic with NetherRealms. If you're going to go outside of anything with the Xbox Game Studio, I would go in NetherRealm and see what they could do. See what they could do. I mean, look, we got surprised with what damn it, I can't think of them that made the Jedi Order game.
Oh, damn.
Respawn.
Respawn. We got surprised at that. Why NetherRealm couldn't try to do something like that? I know that they're going to be working on the next Mortal Kombat or whatever, but
Well, they've done
like,
Mortal Kombat games that weren't fighters as well, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you wanted to get out of there and do something with that and work a deal with that, I mean, that would be fantastic. That it is just all about just bringing something to that bringing that superhero feel to the fan base. And also one more character that you could also add to is damn it just left me. Oh, that's crazy. Batman Beyond. Like that like if you could if like anything, let's say for instance, I know that Rocksteady does that, so let's say that Batman is just going to be primarily with multiplayer game. But let's just say Xbox was like, hey, look, how about we can do something with Batman Beyond while y'all working on the Court of the Owls or whatever right now. That would be perfect because you still have a Batman game, but you having a different, you're going through another generation of Batman or something. Like I said, the possibilities are endless. It just needs to be done for Xbox to have one as well, in my opinion.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Is that it? Is this me?
No, I was on mute. My bad.
It's the Mega and Dawn show now.
Shout out to Reform Tone hitting up that super chat one more time. He says, imagine man, I mess up this first name. Never mind. I'm not even gonna try right now. Itagi.
Hey, man, that guy's paid $5. He pronounced that name.
Yeah. Tominobu.
That's what he paid for.
Tominobu Itagi creating a Wonder Woman game. Man, I'm showing my country tonight, brother.
All you have to say is the man that made that was creator of Dead or Alive 5 and Gaten. That's all you had to do.
Yeah, the rock star, man. Basically, creating a Wonder Woman game, and dude, her titties would be jiggling all over the place, brother.
Oh my god!
You just think it like that, bro.
It's for real though, man.
She would be bad, man.
She'd
be right, but I mean, that's the thing to me.
You'd have a bunch of 13-year-old boys playing that game very late at night.
Well, hold on, and then you can even go even further left, right? Let's just say, for instance. You don't have
Lady Foxfire's in the chat. My bad, lady.
You don't even have to do. I mean, well, I think you would. I mean, because of how big the Marvel DC universe is. But let's just say they want to jump out of the box, and let's just say that Xbox, while they're out there in Japan, and they say they want to do a Japanese hero or something like they just want to do a Inuyasha or some kind of crazy shit like that, like Demon Hunter X. Like what? Like, I mean, that would be like that would be insane. Like, you wouldn't. They have so many possibilities and so many directions where they could go, but it would only if they wouldn't ever try to mess with it or want to deal with that, it would be crazy as hell to me. Like, I mean, it sells consoles, it sells games, man. Come on, Bring a superhero to us.
Oh my goodness, yo! Shout out to Lucifer hitting up that super chat, and I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna bow down, man. He was showing love and support for the show, and of course the channel. He said maybe a K Mega game about gameplay videos, brother. That's rough, man.
Listen, that would be great, man.
That's not superhero status right there, bro. I'm just
saying.
saying.
That's close. That's close to
it.
That's
not
close.
Gonna get the man. And
that's close. That's close.
We'll see with the next time we do the gameplay who comes out on top. But don't
make me bring gameplay back.
Oh no! What are you gonna do? Like climb a mountain for 15 minutes and not get to where you're going?
Doesn't matter. What I'm gonna do is win.
Oh, all I do is win. Never mind. Crispy, I did say I was going to you. I have a decent memory, and I want to hear what you think about this. Do you think that this is strictly a rumor, fake, false? And then with that, what do you think? Do you think it's important for Xbox to have kind of like their superhero game? You heard K Mega, Switch has theirs, PlayStation has theirs. Is it time for Xbox to have theirs as well?
Well, number one, the first thing I heard is Rocksteady and DC Universe, which they've done very well. I'm just saying, like every game that they've come out with is at least clouded. It's not destroyed. It's not anybody like, oh, this is the worst game. And then on top of it, you could go and look at Spider-Man, which I've played, by the way. A lot of people don't believe that. I played Spider-Man, and guess what? It's the same damn game as I played as Arkham Knight. Okay? It's literally, it feels like the same damn game. So if you're going to be copied, and on top of it, Spider-Man on the PlayStation, so what? I think we're at 15 million, something like that. 15 million freaking, copies that you've sold. And it's got to do with the Spider-Man name, okay? Marvel has owned not only gaming in general, but the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So DC needs something. Now, is it exclusive? I don't know. But I think Rocksteady can do a Superman game justice. That's the way I look at it. I see Superman, like, you might be going against the hardest people in the DC universe. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, you're Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still gonna have a chance to fuck them up. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I look at it. Like, if Xbox can get DC.
Hold on. We lost him for a second.
We hear him.
There he is. He's back.
We hear him. Trust me.
What?
Yeah, no, but if I don't hear him, then the chat doesn't hear him.
Well, then that's your problem.
Oh, damn.
What do you mooch like last night? Like, what the hell?
Nah, brother. Every once in a while, there seems to be a black hole in the audio. I'm searching.
A black hole. Like I just went to another universe.
You did, and you came back. Hopefully, you brought gifts and souvenirs. And you can share them.
I brought like who doesn't love the Wonder Woman movies? Who doesn't love them?
All I'm thinking about is Wonder Woman in a DOA format now. Me
and K Mega know one or two actually.
Yes, we do. We just heard we heard it last night on GRG. It was crazy. Yeah. Anyway.
but in general, like Rocksteady is good at these type of games. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm not saying that Microsoft going to buy them, but get a year exclusive. Like Godfall is a year exclusive for PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? And say, we're going to go all in for DC. And maybe they're successful. And then they say, okay, we're going to keep doing this. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand that, like, Game Pass and everything else have involvement. You could say, hey, we're going to put it in Game Pass for 6 months, and we're going to take it out. Now, I would rather them be upfront than, being bullshit. But Superman has not had the justice done as Superman, wears the red, white, and blue. You know what I mean? Like, This is the American gamer superhero. You know what I'm saying? That's just like you feel like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Spider-Man, the way Tom Holland does it is perfect. Like that's what I feel like Spider-Man should be. And that's what I felt like Insomniac did over on PlayStation. But even if it's a year later and you have it as a multi-plat, they're still going to make money. Because if they do Superman right, they do it truly right, you will be like, holy shit. And this comes down back to what our past topic was. SSD, everything else. If you have a world that loads that quickly, you are going to be interested in it. You're going to be like, holy shit, I can fly around wherever the hell I want, and there's no loading screens, nothing. That is cool as shit, no matter what platform you play on. So, in general, Superman needs to be redone. And I've played the past Superman games, and I've been so upset. Okay? So upset. But that's because I look at Superman as like this figure in life that he can go and put glasses on and take his suit off, and he's the same as us. And, it's stupidity, but at the same time, it's fun to think about. Like, you just take the suit off, you put glasses on, and you're a different person. And you know what? I sometimes felt like that when I was in high school, when I'd throw the glasses on, and I'd say, you know what? Fuck everybody and what they say to me. You know what I mean? And they could sit there and say, you're Superman, you're Superman. Shit like that is cool. And you know what? Rather than like having this fly around shit all the time, let's have a little story involved. I'm not saying like a super story. I want to play the game, but I mean,
Crispy, wrap it up. Goddamn.
Let's have
Dude, I was just thinking I gotta clip
story.
this reaction real quick. This opinion.
Let's have a real story. Like we haven't had that.
Wow.
All right. Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. He said, K Mega, remember the boys game from Amazon. I have no idea what he's talking about, but he addressed it to K Mega, so you should know, brother. I don't even hear K Mega anymore. He fell asleep on us. Yo, shout out to Reform Tone.
I was over to eat some nachos, but
oh my goodness. Yo, shout out to Reform Tone. What?
You eat some toes. There's that.
Anyway,
you're killing my shout out here. There's super chats, man.
Shut up, man. K Mega's got a like nacho cheese mustache right now.
Yo, Reform Tone, you hear these people being disrespectful right now, brother. But he says, what y'all think about Escape from Butcher Bay? And dude, I saw when you wrote that in there, man. Another Riddick game, or maybe like, kind of like redoing Escape from Butcher Bay. I love the Riddick movies. Like I'm one of those people, absolutely love those movies. So I would be down for another Riddick game. And my brother Vogel, shout out to Vogel, man. Hitting up that super chat as well. Hey, it's been 2 hours. How long is this show?
I hate you, Vogel. We're getting there.
Well, Pred, let me know what you think about this whole Superman, whether or not you think it's real or fake, and definitely let us know if you think it's important for Xbox to have their own superhero game the way Nintendo and Sony has right now.
I'll make it quick. Superman's probably fake. It would be nice. It'd be nice to have, but I don't think that
Superman has the same pull that other
there's too much money for that to be made, like making it on all the consoles versus like you got to think of how Sony and Spider-Man came about, how they got that. We don't see that now. So like, there's so much shit going on behind the scenes of who has rights to this, who has rights to that. Like I just don't see it happening with Superman or basically any Marvel or DC game going forward, just because of everything happening behind the scenes with the movies and stuff like that. Like even with Spider-Man, like the contract, on that is just fucking ridiculous. So I don't follow video comic book characters like that, but I do know there's a lot of like legal shit going on behind the scenes of who can do what with who and where they can show up at and all the other bullshit. And I don't think that's ever gonna happen again.
Dude, they are very like comic book characters are very valuable, like intellectual properties, man. Like,
I just don't think that's gonna happen again. I think Sony kind of lucked out because they had the movie deal already, and they had an in with that.
I don't know.
aspect of
I
it.
would think that if there was any one character that has the opportunity to be bought like that, and I would think that would be Spawn. I think McFarlane would be the only one that would say, "Hey, okay, I'll make that game exclusive if the price is right." Spawn, I think, is the
Why
only
would you
one.
say that though? Is there something going on? Like, is he not part of? Is
No,
that
he's
character?
still.
he's Dark
Oh,
Horse,
yeah,
right?
he's Dark Horse.
No,
Yeah,
no. It's Image Comics. So they own their own
Oh,
thing,
Image,
right?
yeah, Image. My
okay.
bad.
I thought it was Doctor.
So and he owns Image. So yeah,
Right, it's
so-
independent. Right, so yeah, it's not linked to Marvel. It's not linked to DC.
Oh, okay, exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like, it would
that
have
would
to
be
be
the
something
only
like
thing that I
not
can
linked.
see, or something that's in that same realm. My bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm like you're right. Like, it would have to be someone who's not linked to DC or Marvel. And those are the two biggest comic book manufacturers out there that I could think of with characters that would make sense to make a video game out of. Now, I mentioned this before. Like, I would have loved to see Microsoft pick up, something, their own character for their, like a DC or Marvel character the way Sony did. But I just don't think that's going to happen going forward. Like, Wonder Woman would have made a great game, and I can see, like, elements of Superman, like as I'm playing Anthem, like I can see that in the game, but like I don't think that's ever gonna happen again.
But
think we
the
got
way
lucked out.
the way I think is like, let's say we had a John Wick game. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah,
If
and
somebody
I think
did it
we
right.
we have to go a completely different route than something like a video game character, a comic book character. We'd have to go completely different and do something like that, like a John Wick.
Well,
or
John Wick
like
is
that.
based off a comic book. If you
Or
didn't know
Matrix or something like that. Like, we'd have to have a game like that. Like, it couldn't be like the Marvel DC characters that we see today. It had to be
that. Well,
something
the only reason why I bring up DC is because, in general, DC has struggled, especially when the movies come to it. You know what I mean? Like yes, Wonder Woman was a great movie, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I know
can't
some
wait
people
for the
don't
next
like
one.
it. And what is it? 1987, I think.
84.
That's 84. Okay, so 1984. That is perfect. That is the way they should go. But the problem is they do that with just Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that with, they haven't brought the clout. Like, you understand the way Wonder Woman thinks. You know what I mean? So when you see her in any DC movie, you automatically gravitate to her because you see the way she thinks. Like if I'm not going to be heard, I'm not going to
Aquaman did
say
$1
a
billion
damn word.
in the theaters.
It did $1 billion, but actually it was more overseas than America, if you didn't know that.
I mean, damn, it's still $1 billion. I mean,
but
what the
still,
hell? I mean, games don't just sell in
they
America.
don't look at it. They don't look at
What?
it as that. I'm telling you, DC,
I'm going back to eat my nacho.
DC sees,
Dude, can I get some? man?
DC sees certain things from their individual, not the Justice League. They see it from the individual movies, and you need to take yourself back. You've already lost people that were a part of the Justice League movies. You can't go back to Justice League. So they're not being stupid. They're being like, okay, we're gonna come out with Wonder Woman 1984, and we're gonna go back a little bit, and that's because she's bought in. She wants to do the movies. She enjoys it. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I go and say, who's picked up any DC anything except for Rocksteady?
Yeah.
Rocksteady's the only one that's picked up anything DC. Really?
And they do a good job.
They
do a good job.
And they do a great job. You know what I mean? So a Superman game, like we've had multiple Superman games. A lot of people forget this. We've had a lot of Superman games that were trash. Absolute trash.
I
Okay?
think the one on the 64.
All right? You go through the... Oh, here's
Hey,
your
Crispy.
challenge.
Crispy,
Let's
you already
fly
had
through
your
the
turn.
rings.
Crispy, you already had your turn.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
You're on my turn
run
right
He's gonna run over me with his truck real quick. Let's go. All right,
well,
go ahead.
when he gets it, and
You may have to take a 3-year rain check on that.
I'm just trying to
getting run
extend your
over.
show to fucking 9 o'clock. So like,
yeah. I do need your help on it. Yo, I will say, Pred, I thought that last topic was going to be a quick kind of like open and shut topic. I did not know that Crispy does the podcast in his Superman pajamas every Saturday, and it was really going to pull a string there. So
cut him off, man.
I want to see a real Superman game. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
One
that's
day,
right.
One day, Crispy, you can dream.
Yeah. And on that note, guys, it is Saturday night. Gamers got a game. We got to get the controllers in our hands. I want to say huge shout out to the chat for hanging out with us tonight, man. I really do appreciate it. And when it came down to the superheroes, the chat just lit up with all sorts of like superhero names that they can use for video games. That was absolutely incredible. Quite possibly it was the highlight of me checking out, the chat while we're live on the show. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. But it is that time. This is the last episode of season 2. We are gearing up for season 3 of next podcast. And I just want to give a huge shout out to all the supporters of the show and this channel. We are about to hit 4,000 subscribers. I let it be known that once this channel hits 5,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway, and the winner can choose the console that they would like, and we're gonna send it over to you. So it is awesome, seeing the growth of this channel. Not only that, the growth of everybody on the panel as well. K Mega's got one of the quickest growing podcasts out here on YouTube, gaming podcast when it comes to GRG. They are absolutely insane over there every Friday. Of course, we got the Don, doing his streams on Mixer. We got Crispy streaming on Mixer and getting into it on Twitter. And we got Predator, just being Predator, man. And that is awesome as well. But, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And I'm going to start with the man of the hour, the one who's trying to put structure and discipline into the show. Predator, let people know where they can go to talk games with you, man. And if you have anything...
How the hell are you putting out structure? Read that crazy shit he said on in the chat.
What?
That's a mouthful of nachos if I ever heard any.
Oh, damn. That just proves, Mega, you can never get hot, go crazier than Predator, man. You can't do it, yo. Yo, Pred.
I forgot about his punk ass earlier.
Yo, Pred.
I've been dropping liners all night.
Yeah. Pred, let us know what do you got for him, man?
Let me see. Nothing, man. I did Saltiest podcast. I think it was Thursday. I can't remember. Who knows? I'll be somewhere.
I'll be somewhere.
I'll be where I'm at.
What about Twitter? You want to tell people about where they can
Predator
go?
Space H2OS on Twitter. Predator _ H2OS on Xbox, PlayStation, and I have a Switch somewhere in the closet.
Do you have your prison number memorized?
I don't.
All right, brother, man. We're gonna be gearing.
I'll see y'all next week, man.
Yeah, we're gearing up for season 3. We're gonna come in with a new look, new graphics, all that good stuff.
Gameplay next week.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
It's been a while.
It's definitely been a while.
Vote for Pride.
Oh shoot, here we go, man. And next on the list, let's go with my brother, the explosive one himself, the one in the Superman pajamas. My brother Crispy. Crispy, you are on Mixer. You can let people know about that. Let people know about where they can go to talk games and other shows you're on as well, man.
Well, let's be serious. This is the best damn podcast on the fucking planet.
Here we go.
And this is the way we roll, man. We have fun. We talk games.
Dude, it was a blast tonight. I had a blast.
Ain't nobody agree with me. That's cool. But you know what? In the end, I say what I speak, and I also let everybody else talk because I'm not good at that.
Hashtag
usually.
Crispy Truth right there.
But in general, at CrispyBomb on Twitter. You can find me on Xbox Live, CrispyBomb28, and you can hit me up anytime And you know what? Yes, I stream sometimes on Mixer, but lately it's like, hey, if one person's watching,
Oh, he just faded out again. Yeah, why does it happen to Crispy tonight?
well, that's a you problem, bro.
Dude, I'm not hitting any button switches or anything right now.
No, I think that's a you problem because I think everybody else hears me. So,
Crispy, trust me, I'm trying to get you out of here. So
Battletoads.
Oh no, you can't do it, man. Nobody has it the way I have it, man.
Really?
It's patented,
you ready?
bro.
You ready?
Let's hear it.
Battletoads.
Dude, you sound like the Marlboro Man yelling Battletoads right now. I don't know.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. You can find me here next podcast every Saturday night, 7 p.m. You can also find me on Retro Renegade, 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. Come support us.
Yes,
we are an hour before RDX. I know people love RDX. Come on. You can at least spend an hour with us. We have fun. We drink beers and we talk games. And you get games in front of your face.
Dude, when am I going to be a special guest again on Retro Renegades, man?
I don't know. You never ask, so.
Well, am I supposed to ask if I could be on the show, or is somebody on the show supposed to ask me to come on?
If you want to be on the show, you got to ask sometimes. That's what I do. That's why you can find me on whatever other podcast I end up on, and that's the way it goes. And I think we got Wilby Hood coming next week. Or the week after.
You're taking my thunder right now, brother.
I've been on Wilby Hood's podcast a couple times, so.
Dude, you're really excited about our special guests, like
hell yeah, dude.
3, huh? Nice, bro. Let's see if K Mega is done eating those nachos off of his preferred platform real quick, and
see. Man. Hey, this dude Fred being messy as hell. Look, man. He just mad because I know his old lady got a hairy navel and a motherfucking 90s haircut.
Oh,
we all good.
no.
We good. That dude's being messy as hell in the chat. Anyway, thank you guys so much for checking us out. Oh man, these nachos are delicious. Boy.
Little sticky, little sticky.
He's looking at his fingers.
They got too much, man. Keep that cheese off.
They came from your lady. Anyway, oh man, goodness. Your soldier's wife. Hot damn, can't make us tell. Anyway, so everybody have a good night. It's all good, man. Check out the GRG podcast every Friday night, man. Great for everybody to show up like y'all did last night. Gonna have a crazy guest coming on. BG from the Weapon Wheel's gonna he said he was gonna come on next week. And
hold on, who?
BG.
Broken Games?
Broken Games, yeah.
Shoot.
Probably coming on, so that's going to be fun, especially with my boy 100 in the building. That's going to be
race tracing.
Race tracing. So make sure you come and check us out next week, and whenever we do Dev the Gamer, we'll do it. But we're definitely going to stream tonight. We're going to play some Halo tonight. So anybody that's down, that ain't going to come in and act a damn fool and start talking crazy, start throwing out names and do a console war bullshit, come on down, join us.
Brother, if you're doing Warzone Firefight, I gotta eat real quick, but I am down to join you guys tonight. Yeah, I gotta work on my Spartan rank.
Man, it's gonna be like Saved by the Bell. We got AC Slater, K Mega. You got Zach Morris, me, and then you got Who's the nerd guy with the fro?
Screech.
Screech.
I don't have a white boy fro though, man. I don't have a white boy fro.
So yeah, come and check us out, man. We're gonna be having a good time streaming, and you can get to see my new little face overlay, man. It's dope, man. Hashtag save lock. That's all I can say. Other than that, everybody have a good one. Fuck Pred, and then he was saying, and where he in the plane he got parachuted out of. We going out, baby. We out, peace.
Damn. And on that note, we got to get to the Don, and the Don's been doing things. On Mixer as well. Yeah.
I think K Mega fell out of his chair.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's why you heard his voice fade in.
Yeah.
He was yelling.
He's got nachos all over his face, baby.
Oh,
well, you don't realize his gaming chair.
You have ruined nachos for me for like the rest of my life. By the way, bro.
Here's the thing about K Mega. His gaming chair is like one of those lifeguard chairs where you stand really high up.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Oh yeah, we're doing Mixer. About an hour after this podcast, we'll be up and going.
Nice. Gives me enough
Co-streaming.
chance to eat. Are you doing Warzone Firefight?
We're doing everything.
I'm down for the Warzone Firefight.
All of it counts towards the cause. There.
Yeah, but it's so little on everything else, man.
No, it depends on how you use that XP. I've checked it and timed it.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else, Don? Anything else you want to throw in there?
No, we're good. You follow
All
me on Twitter, Mixer, all that good stuff. Let's go.
All that good stuff. AKA hashtag Don B.
Let's end the show before prayer just go
Yeah,
far left than you could ever imagine.
Yo,
Lord
guys,
have
thank you
mercy.
again for all the support. Season 2 has been absolutely tremendous. You guys have come out every Saturday and heard us clown around, heard us talking about the gaming news, sharing our opinions. Thank you guys. The show is growing. The channel is growing. I cannot wait to see where we are by the end of Season 3. But as usual, guys, the Gamer's Got a Game. I got to end the show the way I do every week. We will see you next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
So Screech, are you gonna join us for?
I'm
like,
not
after?
Screech, man. I don't have a
Screech.
fro.
Man.
Don't know fro. And dude,
Man, what-
Screech was wilding out when he's not
what's wrong with-
on the set, man.
Man, what's wrong with big volume hair?
Yo, we're out, people. Yeah.
Yeah.